going on, everyone? It's episode 118, recorded on Sunday, January 29th, 2023. I'm Andy, and hey, John and Drew, why can't Miss Piggy count to 70? Because every time she gets to 69, she gets a frog in her throat. Oh, Kermie! Sorry, Miss Piggy. You guys want another one?
Lay it on.
Yes, you know we do.
Why did Princess Peach choke? Mario came down the wrong pipe.
Oh,
Mamma mia!
It's Monday night, which means it's time for another episode of the Dads After Dark show with your hosts, Drew and John.
On tonight's show, we have TV updates and what we've been watching. It's my turn to talk about Sports Story. And if you've not have guessed it already, we call him Andy P, but we have a special guest on tonight's show. He is a 3-time Mayhem champion, a 2-time Mayhem lottery winner, a 6-time bounty claimer. He's the winner of the voicemail contest. He's a pumpkin carver champion, and he is the dirtiest man I know on the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ninformant joins us tonight. What's going on, buddy? You've stolen $115 from the Dads After Dark. How do you feel about that? What have you been up to?
I did not know that was the tally of what I've taken, so I do apologize to the other contestants.
No apologizing.
I know, Andy, you're not aware of this, but that money comes from my son's college fund. Yep. So just Perfect. So you know, I hope you enjoyed your winnings.
No regrets at all.
We'll figure his education out down the road.
That's great.
And my half comes from my wife working on the weekends.
Cool.
You're
welcome.
Drew, a clamor? Did you say a clamor?
I said a claimer, which really isn't a word either, but I didn't want to use winner, and I chant like 6-time bounty claimer. Like, you claim.
Yeah.
Bounty. I don't think claimer can really be used as like a verb like that. But
sometimes I'm not sure if it's like a word or an accent thing or whatever.
It's a lot. Sometimes I make up words. Sometimes it's me. It's depends on the day. But John, buddy, what's new? What's going on this week?
I've had a busy week this week. I have a busy week next week. I have planning meetings all next week. It's going to be really boring, but been enjoying some football today. We have a lot of big 49er fans in our Discord. Sorry for them. Niners not only got crushed Giant style, but just a lack of personnel. So it was kind of a disappointing game, really. That was going to be a really good game, and I feel like we got robbed of it. So that was disappointing. But my week is already good, Drew. You know why my week has been very good?
Why?
Because
John?
Life is Strange 2 got announced for the Switch.
Why? Why does that matter? You can play
every Life is Strange game is on the Switch. It's a beautiful thing. I love it.
Have you played any Life is Strange games?
I have not.
Okay.
And,
we made it a bounty, he would.
If we made it a bounty.
I would be forced to. I am surprised that you're excited about it being on the Switch when you do play on PlayStation and other consoles, though. So
Oh yeah, but it's nice to have it handheld. The ports have been very good, so I'm excited for it.
Are you going to play this?
I am. It's surprising because actually Life is Strange 2 has been ignored. It came out I think in 2018, and it didn't do as well as the other ones because there's like a male lead. It's the only game that has a male lead. And it didn't do as well. And it's just been ignored for years. They don't talk about it, nothing. So it was great to see it. Yeah, I got the icon on my Switch now. Very, very excited about it. Even Michelle, who actually likes this one the best, she was excited. Because, I don't know, that Sean and Daniel were dead. So that was the excitement of my week. How about you, Drew?
Busy, really, really busy week. I feel like my first full week with work and stuff since I had all that time off, still catching up, but work has just been crazy busy. My family, 50% of the family went through the stomach bug that's been floating around. I don't know if it's floating around out there, but floating around out here, like the 24-hour, shitting your brains out and throwing up. Started with my son. My poor son, he sits. Like when you're sits, like he's never been sick like from throwing up before, so he didn't really know. He threw up everywhere, all over the floor. And it was just like he doesn't know better. He doesn't know that feeling, and he doesn't know what to do. And he's like dry heaving over the toilet, and he just doesn't get it. And then my wife was taking care of him, and I was like, fuck that. Nope, I'm not going near him. And me and Zoe dodged the bullet on that one. So I think we're in the clear. Been playing a lot of video games though. A lot of video. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but a lot of games, and hockey started back up again, John. I have 2 games left in my career.
In your career?
You're hanging it up.
Retiring. I told you that. Man. Career is over. 16 years.
Hockey games.
Hockey, Greffin. Yeah. What do you think I said?
I thought you were done with the hockey.
Well, I got to finish the season. I'm not a quitter.
Oh, I see. Oh, so you take like a break.
Well, yeah, winter break.
I see.
Because the kids, think they're college, right? So that, they're on winter break as well.
Okay, only 2. So are you not finishing out the whole season, or you just have a late schedule?
Well, no, I have 2. I mean 2, and then I think I am doing playoffs. I don't know how far I'll go into playoffs, but
playoffs.
You're
talking playoffs?
Talking playoffs.
Are you kidding me?
Playoffs.
All right. What a weird word. Anyways, yeah, that's it. I mean, that's without going into too much other crazy details, it's been a busy week. But what about you, Andy?
You guys want to talk more about vomits for a little bit?
Let's do it since we're on the topic.
I mean, my daughter definitely had the same problem your son was having there. Mm. We've had it through the bed multiple times in the same night. I'm like, here's the bucket. You use the bucket. If you see the bucket and you're up, you take it with you wherever you go. And nope, that doesn't happen. And vomit everywhere every time.
And she's about the same age, I think. How old is she?
She'll be 8 in July.
8, yeah. So
that's
it's tough for them, especially if they've never been sick before. They just don't understand that feeling or what, they don't get it. And I felt bad. My son kept apologizing. I'm like, buddy, you don't have to be sorry. Like, it's okay.
You should be like, you don't sound sorry.
Yeah.
Just
maybe
lay it on.
Do it again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than vomit, which has not been in our house recently, but we did all have COVID for the new year. The kids went back to school. My daughter went back to school after the holiday break, and by the weekend had COVID, and that's the first time that it got all of us. But that's been fun. My wife's been getting a lot of headaches still from that stuff, but not too bad for me. I had like one day of maybe some extra toilet time.
Nice.
Sitting down like a man.
We'll get to that.
But other than that, this week, this time of year, I got a lot of birthdays in the family. My mother-in-law's was on Monday, and mine was on Thursday. I hit the big 40. So
wow, happy! Wow. How does that? I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of dreading the big 40.
So far, other than I don't know if do you guys like having your birthday at this age? Or
well, let me ask the question is, like, when you say having your birthday, right? I feel like I haven't really truly celebrated a birthday in many years. So like, define what your experience has been for the big 40? Because like, did someone throw you a surprise party? Did they say, let's get together and get presents? Like what? I feel like mine's pretty like, we'll go out to dinner.
Yeah.
As a family. I mean,
like this. No, we didn't have any like real big plans. But just like my wife she had to work that day, unfortunately. And my daughter was in school, and I thought, I'm going to have a guilt-free game day.
Sounds fantastic.
And I thought, that's fine. I'll go get, takeout from a place I like and just play games. And I don't know if it's because 40 or if it's just Facebook to blame or what, but getting called and texted nonstop all day. And it's just like, oh God, like I can't wait till tomorrow. Like I don't mind getting like gifts or whatever, but
is that like family writing you?
Family and like I didn't mind hearing from friends and stuff too, but it was like I had the day off and I was like, you had this vision of how the day was going to go, and no, you just your phone's ringing and you're on the phone and somebody else is trying to call and you're just like, yeah, I appreciate it. Like I wouldn't want no one to call, but there's a happy medium that was not met.
Next time it's the day before your birthday off.
Yeah. I guess do that or maybe remove my birthday from Facebook. I feel like that's to blame on some of that stuff. Like people
Right,
are
but
like,
you nailed it, right? I was listening to Game Scoop today, and the guy was talking about Dead Space remake, and he goes, "I'm saving it for a day where I just order a pizza in, and I sit down and I just play the game for like 6 hours." And they're like, "You had it right. It's your birthday. Gonna sit down, play some games." You just had to put the phone away. Just turn it off.
I
Just
know.
turn it off. And I don't know what did you order? You said you ordered food?
I got some chicken lo mein takeout from a Chinese
I
place.
love chicken lo mein.
And then just turn the phone off. That was step 2. You missed step 2.
Step 2.
Yeah.
You're right.
Had it.
Are you calling all these people back, or you're just ignoring them? Like I feel like I don't know.
I think the
it would have been
problem is,
nice.
who the fuck calls people anymore? I mean, a text message would have you know, been okay.
I'm getting cards from the same people that are also calling and texting. And it's like, and I'm sure I'm guilty of that as well. Like I like to try to make a fun video or something for people, but I don't know.
Don't you feel loved now?
I do feel loved, but it's just like, you know.
Well, happy
Can't wait
birthday.
for the next. My daughter and my wife put together a event for Saturday since we weren't able to celebrate on Thursday, but they made me a Mario Party 40.
Oh, look at that.
And we played real life Mario Party games for like 3 hours yesterday.
That's incredible.
Went on way too long, but I found a sweet playlist of Mario Party music on YouTube and just played it, and it
Did
really
you just,
helped.
like, beat the shit out of each other for 3 hours? Is that what you did?
I mean, we used a Monopoly board, and we rolled dice to move characters around, and we played a mini game after everybody went, and collected coins and bought stars, and my daughter ended up winning the game. But we played some Slapperazzi from Mario Party 10. I don't know if you guys are fans of that one.
Yep.
But we have some great photos. But it was just 3 of us, but we got a lot of ideas. I think that we'll end up. My daughter had the time of her life, so we're going to be doing this for her birthday, I'm sure, and with a bunch of other kids and stuff. So
you got to look at that.
Playing Slapperazzi with a bunch.
There's
of
a
kids.
Mario board. There's a Mario board game that is pretty much a Mario Party game. You have to go around the board and collect the stars, and then there's cards that are activities or mini games that you have to compete in.
Like like one in a store? I haven't seen.
Yeah, I'll send you the link. I mean, the mini games are like. You know, roll a die and you have to get between 5 and 6. And, you know, there's other little things like that, but they're still like considered mini games. I'll find the link and send it to you.
Yeah,
we brought it on a family vacation once and we had an absolute blast playing it.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, I'll find it. I'll send it to you.
Excellent.
Well, that's it, right? All right. Well, Andy, like all guests, it is time to enter the gauntlet.
Oh my!
You want to do this, Johnny? Or want me to?
Go for it.
All right, Andy. We got 10 questions for you.
10.
First thing that comes to your mind, had at it. Who has the best opening jokes, John or Drew?
Oh, I'm gonna go with Drew on that one.
John, you asked yourself for that one. Well, when you make 8-minute jokes, it's just a no-brainer.
I win by most words.
That's a fact.
When I edit the show later, I'm going to make sure I capture Andy saying John.
Oh yeah.
Don't say it for the rest of the show.
John.
What is the first video game you ever remember playing?
Probably Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers.
I agree with that one.
I beat that game when I was 5 years old 5 times in one sitting, like doing the loop, just replaying it through with the harder characters coming in the first level. So,
even at that age.
I don't know. I'm not as impressive as you guys might think I am based on those.
I mean, that's don't lie.
I can tell I'm a little bit older than Ninformant because my game is probably 6 years before Mario Brothers.
Oh well, listen, Mario Brothers and I came out like the same year. What's the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you?
Well, I don't know if this is the most embarrassing thing, but you guys will enjoy this one. So in 9th grade, I was dared to run across the high school football field in a Speedo and a cape during the halftime band performance. And somebody else, sweetened the pot. They said they'd throw in $5 if I humped the goalpost. So I jumped over from the far end. I humped the goalpost. I ran through the opposing team's band performance, and I got to the other side, and people were like get him. And I did the spin move and I got out of there and I'm running up the street going behind houses. But unfortunately, they had the cops there for some underage drinkers that were caught earlier. And so the cops ran up the street and drove up, and they kind of were following me and they corralled me, and I got arrested for disturbing the peace. So
wow. I mean,
I became a legend in high school. I got kicked out of school for a week and had to pay a fine and all that fun stuff. But
wow.
That is, I'm done. Gauntlet's done. I mean, that exceeded my expectations.
Wait, bonus question. Were you really dared?
Yeah.
it was a bet. Yeah. So
I feel like for Andy, that's like a voluntary thing, right, Drew? I mean, like it just feels like you didn't need to be dared.
It was a bounty, and I.
He probably said, "Hey, can you dare me to run across the field in the Speedo?" And they go, "Okay."
He lost money in the bet because he had to buy the Speedo and cape. So I mean, it was
and bail.
Right. Number 4. This is a sad question. Why do you keep playing Strikers when nobody else does?
Well, initially, I kind of hated the game, and I wanted to get my money's worth. So I was like, I'm going to keep playing this game until I at least hit a certain amount of hours or something. And I don't know, something about you guys talking it up, saying, "Oh, we're playing for 2 years," and the whole shebang that you gave out. And I think that kind of was like, you know what, I'm going to stick with it. And
we call that hate playing.
Hate playing. Well, I actually enjoy playing it now. So
you were playing today. I saw you jump on there. Yeah,
I saw Exelon got on a little bit yesterday, got us some points, and I got a friend to sign up, and we played a couple of matches together yesterday as well.
Look at that.
So
it's not dead yet, folks. It's not dead yet.
And every so often, Drew, you get dragged in too. So really, there's like 3 people playing.
Yeah,
but I mean, it seems like every week, like the Ninformant is the impetus to drag some people. And even I sometimes get like, I'm like, maybe I'll just jump through a few games or so.
Thinking about doing it.
You
inspiration.
You don't. You don't.
No, because I'll get crushed.
They fixed a couple things with it through that. I don't know if you saw there was a little update there, but the items weren't coming before when you're like after the opposing team scored.
Oh, that's bad.
That and whoever you're using for the hyper strike, like you know how it will like affect the other team's players, like it'll like maybe get caught.
Oh yeah.
It actually holds them long. Like I think it might hold them the whole time now. So if the players get caught, they can't go over it and block the shot if the goalie blocks it.
So it lasts a few more seconds. Gotcha.
Which is, it didn't make any sense before. It's like, okay, so that there's this big power up and now they're just going to be over there hitting my guy away.
Yeah, it's irrelevant.
Yeah, so it actually works the way I think it was supposed to. So
good.
Maybe give it another shot if you're listening.
I'm going to have to change this question on the fly and say, is being on the Dad Show right this moment the greatest, maybe the second greatest moment of your life? Because we all know the first was your football game there. So
100%.
Okay,
sorry to my wife if you're listening.
Yeah,
not our child's birth.
Weddings are stressful. This is not.
Wedding, birth. No, you're knocked down a peg.
Right now.
Sorry about it.
Look at that. Beautiful.
Number 6. If you could have sex with any celebrity, boy or girl, who would it be?
I thought this one might come up, so I prepared an answer. I'm going Elizabeth Hurley from Austin Powers.
Oh, good pick.
That's a good answer.
Good pick.
Answer there.
And I could always say she was just a fembot, so just let me do my thing.
That's right.
What was that movie when she was in when she was the devil? I can't even remember.
Brendan Fraser. What the heck was that called?
It was like Bedeviled or something like that.
Monkey Bone?
That was the pinnacle.
No, that was. She's got some weird thing going on with her son. I'm not sure what's going on there. She's taking all her photos and stuff now, but
Bedazzled.
You ever see it's like that stepmom porn.
Yeah.
Anyways, number 7. Would you quit video games for life for $200,000?
Why $200,000? That's such an odd number.
That's like the breaking point. Like, would you do it?
Not.
Wow. How much would you need then?
I don't know. Well, you got to cough up a lot more than that.
Well, I thought about this question, John. That's why I said 200. Like 100,000. I mean, sure, it's a lot of money, but I don't think I would quit. But like 200, you're starting to get into like $250,000. Like it's kind of starts to get life-changing-ish money.
I would quit at $200,000.
Like 100, would you?
Probably. I mean, but hypothetically, I would say no. But in reality, I've got other things I can do.
All right, this is going to make me look like a dick, but especially with the bounties and everything. But my wife is a doctor, and I've been a stay-at-home dad for the last 7 years. So
Wow. Good for you.
money's not a problem, and I've got a pretty good gig going on here already. So I'm not going to give up the thing I love most in life for $200,000.
Valid point. All right.
All right.
I like it. Number 8. If you could be a professional athlete in any sport, what would it be?
In any sport.
Are these real sports, or can you say like bowling?
Sure, that's a sport. I mean, ass hand bone. Just that me and Koozie beat him in bowling. I just want to make sure everyone remembers that.
Okay.
Okay, this is a professional. I'm going to make you go golf because I'm terrible at golf.
Wow.
Great
and
answer.
I don't really like it, but
pander.
If I was good at it, I would probably enjoy it a lot more.
Your nose is so far up Drew's ass right now.
It smells good, though.
Yeah. All right, number 9. If you could eat only one food for an entire year, what would it be?
I'm going to go with chicken.
Okay.
Yeah,
what kind of chicken?
That or pizza, but...
Yeah, would you like barbecue?
How would the chicken be prepared?
Does it have to be barbecue or something the whole year round? Or
you got to pick one preparation of chicken.
All right, we're going pizza instead.
I was going to say pizza.
Yeah,
what's on the pizza?
Cheese.
Pepperoni and cheese and sauce. Yeah. All
right.
I like that idea. You always take the pepperoni off.
I don't know if I could go a year, but that first day I'd be in heaven. I'd be like, this has been a great day. And then day two would come around and you're like, all right, not bad. Day 3, you'd be like, oh no, what have I done?
So do you say that every time you have pizza? This is the best day ever.
Oh yeah.
And is this breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
I mean, who doesn't?
Or is this just dinner? Okay.
No, it's just
pizza.
Yeah, it'd be probably a pretty bad day or bad week, like a couple days
what would
in.
your shits turn into?
Mammoth,
the same
you'd
food.
be bloated all the time.
Oh yeah,
and you'd probably hate yourself in a couple days. But hey, you probably wouldn't live very long. So
it's only a year. You can recover.
Only a year.
Okay, only a year. All right, number 10. Last question for you. Would you rather get bitten by a shark or sat on by an elephant?
Had to change it, Drew.
That's okay. Makes sense.
I think you're dead if you're sat on by an elephant. I think so. I guess I'm gonna take the shark bite
and hope for the best.
And hope for the best. Yeah.
Going out like by an elephant sitting on you. Not many people can say that.
I don't know if you survive the elephant, but you could also get sat on in a way where your face is just pinpoint targeted right there on the elephant's anus, and that would be a way to go.
You're drawing questions like, did he want this to happen? Was he trying to eat the elephant's ass?
Since like the ass cheeks are so big, maybe that little the anus will give like a breathing cavity.
I didn't think of that. Survive. Just crawl up in there and
and get.
It's like Austin or Ace Ventura 2. Look like I'm
the rhino,
the reverse rhino.
Yeah. What was I watching the other day? It made me think of that scene. I don't know.
With Danny DeVito crawling out of the couch.
The couch.
Always Sunny about Philadelphia. Oh, God.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, you survived the gauntlet. I feel like we should have been dirtier knowing you were on the show, but I don't know. That was what we came up with. So let's head over to Manscaped for a read by Jimmy Stewart.
Breaking news. Manscaped now sells beard products. That's right. They're once again revolutionizing men's grooming with the brand new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. From a beard trim to a fresh shave, the technology behind the Beard Hedger Pro Kit allows you to shape your signature beard look. Now you can finally use Manscaped products to make your drapes match your carpet. By going to manscaped.com and using code NINDADS for 20% off and free shipping. Thank you.
Thanks, Jimmy. Absolutely, thank you there. Now, we were lucky enough to receive the Beard Hedger. John, have you put it to test yet?
I did, yeah.
I have not.
I have a shaver and I don't love it. I have what is it? I forgot which one it is called, but it's the one. It's supposed to be, it can do the beard trim. It does the face and all that stuff. And I only really use it to trim my beard. And I was excited to get this, and I tried it. It's very comfortable. You almost have to hold it in a way, like when I first did it, I was like, why isn't this working? But you have to turn it the other way.
So I looked at that and I was confused. So should it be like pointing like this at your face? Like I'm trying to.
It's just the opposite of what you think would be intuitive. That's
okay.
And so it feels backwards, but that's how it works.
That's how it's designed.
And no, it's really good. It was really fast. And usually what I do is I'll just buzz my beard, and before I shave, if it's been a while, I'll buzz my neck, and then so it was like fast, like really.
What I liked about it too is it has like 20 different settings, right? So like for how thick you want your beard, and it's super easy. You don't have to make any changes with the adapter. It's just like a little wheel, and you move the wheel and it adjusts the clip, I guess you could call it. No, I mean they obviously make great products, but this was, like you said, John, this is a good one. I just last time I had to shave, it was like 5 a.m. I said, I'm not trying a new beard trimmer at 5 a.m. That wasn't going to happen.
Right. You got to charge it first thing too.
Yeah.
You guys both got these then? Are they given, do you guys get every single product that they do every time?
They give us all their products to try out.
And did I hear you saying for a while you were getting all the extra like deodorant and shampoo things? Like,
oh my God, I still have like 4 bottles of like the big shampoos, and I use them, but like they last a long time.
Yep.
I ended up
like shampoo and body lotion.
I ended up purchasing the Lawnmower 4.0 package at Christmas time, and I wanted to support the Nindads crew, but of course Manscaped put out their own special like bigger discount. So I'm like, wow,
how could you?
I had to go that way instead. But I'm like, how are they making money? Because everybody that's like doing this, they're sending all these products. I'm like, are they actually getting a lot of return? Like, what are they getting out of you guys or being a sponsor? Or, and are they a sponsor of Dads After Dark as well, or are these guys just piggybacking off the other show?
We
family.
We piggyback off the family, but I mean they're supporting us with products, so it's in a way it's twofold, I guess, right? It's we give, they give.
Well, when I purchased mine, they were trying to like enroll you into getting a subscription of the shampoo and stuff, or the ball deodorant. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna need to keep the subscription going, but
it lasts forever. Yeah, I mean, I don't know either. I did that once with bar soap. It was like I had a subscription. I was like 3 bars every 3 months, and I'm like, I still couldn't finish it.
That's the Dr. Squatch. Yeah.
Yes, I still use those.
Yeah. Well, they did it with razors and stuff. Things that like they know a certain amount of time. This way, you just keep getting them.
Yeah.
Sometimes it makes sense. I did it with the razors.
You said
it totally makes sense if it's
the good thing about those is like then you'll be forced to throw it away, and you're not using a dull razor like you probably shouldn't be.
Let's talk about the ball deodorant for a second. Now, is that for like working out and doing athletic stuff, or is that for like you're about to have a night with the lady and you thought, well, let's make things smell a little better down there? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good question. Just like if let's say you lather your balls with some deodorant there, like if someone then started to suck on your nut, like what's that taste for them? Like it's like someone licking your armpit after you put deodorant on. It's not going to be pleasant.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, it's not pleasant.
Definitely don't want to lick my wife's armpit or
So it's a great question. I mean, I like the ball deodorant if it's like you need to freshen up. Like you just had a day at the beach and you're not going to shower. You're going to go out and have a beer somewhere like on the beach. Like that's a good time to use the ball deodorant.
Reach down your pants and give it a little squirt before you head to the bar.
Throw some powder in there, maybe some ball deodorant. Get the foot. I do like the foot deodorant. If you ever have like sweaty feet,
get the phones.
The foot deodorant, it's probably the same stuff, just in a spray bottle, but it's nice.
It's a good one-off. Like sometimes I'll use it and then like I'll sit in my chair and I'll turn the fan on and I'll just like the room is dark. It's just like a one-off thing. It's not like a regular thing that you use.
No. Like you getting ready to mastermate?
No, it's just like it's nighttime. You just want to quiet down. You've had like a rough day, and play with your Switch, and so like wipe my feet, put them up. Because you don't want to walk around right after you do it. Put my feet up, and it's like it's fresh and everything. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
And then masturbate.
I might have to try that
After-
ball deodorant on my daughter's feet because they've been rough after school some days.
Gotta try it. I mean,
Don't-
the foot deodorant
don't
is
show her
not
the
a bad
box.
purchase. Don't show her what it is. Ball deodorant? The balls of your feet, honey. Like it's,
yeah. Tell your friends.
great.
Dads.
Dads. Manscaped, folks, go get some products. And that leads us into John. Take us away with this monthly mayhem.
And now, Monthly Mayhem.
Monthly Mayhem is in effect. The Bengals have scored a touchdown. We are halfway through our contest. By the time you hear this show again in 2 weeks, we will be announcing our winners. It is the Ding Dong XL contest. If you haven't paid attention or whatever, this is a 99-cent game. Really good, fun, stupid, high-score game on the eShop. The contest is for all 3 modes that are available in the game: solo, dual, and infinite mode. There'll be 1 winner for each. You can't win more than one. $10 eShop prize for everybody.
Everybody.
So that means you have 3 chances to win. There is no lotto winner this time around. The contest has been fun. We have a lot of people who've entered. I just updated the leaderboard before this show. Current leaders as they stand right now. Solo mode is Zablanc with a score
214?
of 2. I'm the only one in the 200s, baby.
That's respect. I think I got
Respect.
180, I want to say. I don't know, but that's good. That's high.
I have a 189 I haven't shared yet, but that's where I'm at with the solo.
We're holding them back already.
I don't know.
Well,
Dual
I didn't know
mode.
if we should, keep plugging in our scores if you haven't topped the person that's in first place.
good point.
If I beat out my 214, I will definitely hold it back until the end. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Dual mode, 149. Zablanc again. Actually, dual mode is my favorite mode.
really? I was going to ask you what's your favorite modes?
Did you do that in solo, Zabon?
149 is dual. Yeah, Drew, I like dual mode because I just love the just throwing the balls back. You're like left one, right, left. It's just like
I'm going to blow your mind. I'm an A button guy in this game.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I
guess so.
actually I don't know about dual mode. I think I use L and R for dual, but solo and infinite, I'm an A button guy.
The triggers just feel more intuitive for this one.
Yeah, but I feel like in this game, especially
catches
infinite
sometimes.
mode, you need to have a quick reaction, and I feel like with the trigger, it takes longer to fully push it. Where A is just like boop. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What about you, Andy? What's your favorite mode?
I'm doing solo with the A button and duals. I do the L and R.
Yeah.
But I am terrible at the infinite. I was amazed by the score. Was that Kuzi that's leading that still?
No, that is now Drew with
nice.
112.
That was just before the show. I was killing some time.
Wow.
Infinite mode is fun.
So infinite mode's cool because it's not necessarily how far you go. There's some strategy to it, right? Like I only probably got 80 points far, but every time you get other points or you get close and you get those little extra +1 bonus points or the little power-ups, like they're bonus points that get added on at the end of your game.
Oh.
Yeah, so I only probably made it as far as 80 lines or 70 lines, whatever, and then I got like an extra 50 bonus points.
That's stressful though. That's you have to nick a shape.
It is, but there's strategy to it, right? Because if you can get those extra bonus points early on, let's say the first 50 lines, it's not as fast and it's not as crazy.
True.
So it's tough, but there's some strategy. You can play different ways.
You're also close to those shapes too when you're going between them. But yeah, correct. I don't know if I would do it, but yeah, when it gets in slow motion, you can totally take advantage. But yeah, it's fun. So Drew, you and I are leading in all 3 categories.
Well, you can't win both though. That's the
we
key.
can't win both. If you and I can get wins, that would be freaking awesome. I'm just going to say that right now.
Do you guys get the win in this one?
Oh yeah, we get to win in all of them.
We get to win. We'll probably just keep the money in the account. We probably won't even take it out.
Oh, I would.
You're putting it back in your kids' college fund there.
We have always been historically eligible in our contest because when we did the contest, it was before we had our show. So it's like we're doing this, we're putting in the work, so because we want to participate in it.
Okay.
But we make sure that the contests aren't tilted towards us. It's not going to be I mean, Drew's always doing golf ones because he wants to win them, but
never won one.
I think when we have to judge something, we're obviously not qualified. And then there's times where I don't even try because I don't want to wreck you all.
Can I just say one comment about this?
Go
this
ahead.
game kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie.
It's addictive though, man. Like you get in there and you're like, oh, I think it's the contest that's, driving it too. Like
if I ever bought this game without a contest, like I can't imagine there'd be no motivation to play. Like there's no more one more go if there's no contest.
I did buy it
see
back
who made this one.
Marty and all them were talking about it like years ago. And I probably played it for like 5 seconds and didn't touch it. But I don't know what my hour count is now. But
yeah, John, this is a great topic, I think, for a future episode of like motivation to play a game or something like that. Maybe not the spot right now.
Drew knows this. How long have I been lobbying for a Ding Dong XL contest?
2 to 3 years. No,
because this is what it's made for. This is like it's made for our contest, and it's only fun if it's our contest. Yeah. And the only reason I got it in this time was Drew was on a cruise, and we needed a monthly mayhem, and he wasn't going to be like available till the day of our show. And I was like, "We're doing Ding Dong. I have to make a graphic, So, but it's working out. I like it. I like these kind of.
I think it's a fun little mini game, like if it was in Mario Party or something like that. But
yeah.
And the price is right for this thing. So
agreed. I agree. They were smart with that.
Factors in. Yeah, that always factors into the games. We want to make sure people, it's either a big Nintendo release a lot of people are already getting, or a cheap eShop game that we can play. But
I think the music, it does change sometimes, but a lot of the times it's the same one. And then they're like, we'll change it up a little bit here.
What's your favorite little ball to use?
I've been using Earth. My daughter came up and watched me today, and she was like, "Oh, put the puppy on." And we thought it was funny that when you die, the hot dogs go flying.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's right.
So she thought that was really
I like
funny.
using the blue little smiley face guy.
I don't like that the eyes move around and stuff. So I was like,
do they? I didn't even notice it.
I think the Earth stuff has things moving too, but
yeah, I can't even tell you which one I'm using. I just picked something that looks, looks cool. I can't even remember what it is.
Are you playing handheld or are you playing on the TV?
Always handheld.
Yeah.
Especially with games like this, you don't want any kind of like game lag or anything like that. So I think you're always better off with handheld. But
maybe that's the deal breaker. I'm going handheld for the next round.
Maybe.
Coming for you, it's a block.
I used to go crazy with that playing Celeste. I would like play handheld because I was so afraid of lag going through the TV and everything. But I don't know the difference. But all right, so that's fun. So we got 2 more weeks. What do we got? The Sunday that we record. So 2 weeks from yesterday, if you're listening to this on the first day. Get your scores in. We have 3 channels on the Discord to send your scores in. So just send it to the right channel and we'll get you on the leaderboard.
Absolutely.
It's also a little strange that it doesn't show which thing you're playing for those scores.
I wish it did.
I initially thought that when Kuzi put up his first score for the Unlimited, I was like, did he just put that in the wrong one? Because that seems impossible. But I guess it's possible.
Is that Kuzi's 1? He put up a score of 1.
I did see that.
I thought that was in...
Does he know there's no like runner up in this one, so that doesn't mean anything?
I think he thinks it's golf, and then the lowest score wins.
Maybe that's it. Hole in one.
Next up, Drew, I made a last second change to this. Not even going to approve of you. It's brilliant. We are doing an Apple review contest again. Time to kick off 2023 right. We need some reviews. They really help us with search and a whole bunch of things. Listen. We make this contest available to people who've done a review. So if you update your review, it'll show as updated and you'll be eligible for this contest. So please do. It still helps. But let me, for a minute, talk to the people who've never reviewed our show. Give me a minute here. Guys.
30.
Drew and I do this show every 2 weeks. I have to make thumbnail images while my family sits inside crying that I am not interacting with them.
True story.
We do special episodes for you. We've done the monthly mayhem for years. We did a monthly mayhem where we had to give people assignments the moment they were ready to play.
I remember
giving an assignment while I was at my kids' play.
Yeah.
Okay. The work that we put into the show is innumerable. We are the Brock Purdy's of podcast.
You know what happened to him? Never mind.
Bad elbow.
Too soon.
If you have never reviewed our show, please review our show. We need you to review it through the Apple Podcasts. That's the only way that's going to be eligible. Apple Podcasts. And we are going to have a special prize. We're not going to give out just one gift card. We're giving out 2. So we are going to pick out 2 random Apple reviewers whose review occurred in February. So if you have to wait a day, do it in February. And well, we'll take the last day of January. Don't worry about it.
You know what? Did we actually just got one this week, John? I have to confirm that. But
eligible.
Anyway.
Totally eligible.
Agreed. Eligible.
2 $25 eShop cards. We're going to give to 2 random people that give an award. So if you leave a review, you have 2 chances to win. $25, you can buy a $20 indie game. Clear. Easy. You can buy Sports Story for
with
$15.
money left over.
Exactly.
So emphasize that. Even if you've done it, do it again because it changes the date that we'll see. And for the people that have already done it and you really want to be cool and help us out like John just pitched, steal your wife's phone and do it from her account.
I don't give a crap. You make a new account. I don't care. We just need Apple to see a review. It helps us immeasurably.
And then you get 2 chances.
Yeah.
You do 10 accounts, you get 10 chances of winning.
Dude, go to some bot farm. See if I care.
Hey,
just make sure you understand which one is yours.
I'm going to be doing it, and I might tap into that whole wife's phone option.
Got to do it.
So if you don't do it, I'm looking at a potential $50 here, guys.
You could win both. And you're going to add to that total, right? I said it to my wife once. So let me write a review of your phone. That she's like, no. I'm like, the thing is they will never know that you did it. Like, they're not going to log into the podcast, go to reviews and see their username. Like, they're not going to know. They won't even know.
Yeah. And you can make the username anything.
It's true.
No one will know.
No one.
So that's our review contest starting now, runs through February. So just get your reviews in by February. We'll take any reviews by the time we start it up. So don't worry.
Yep.
But get your review. And if you haven't, please do. It'll really help us. So that's it. And then finally, before we get into what we've been playing, our merch store is up. We've got sales going on. You can find the merch store on Redbubble. You can search Dads After Dark Show on Redbubble to find it, or you can go to bit.ly/dads-merch-shop. So that's https://bit.ly/dads-merch-shop.
Or you could just go in the show notes because it's going to be there.
It's time to talk about what we've been playing.
All right, Andy P, the Ninformant, Pumpkin Man, all the names you go by. You, our guest, can go first. What have you been playing over the last couple weeks?
Oh, boy. I mean, not last couple weeks, but currently. Goldeneye 007. It's back, baby. I don't know about you guys, but back in junior high, this game released for me, and it changed my life. I was playing all the time through junior high and senior high, and so much fun. So glad to have it back. I got in a couple multiplayer matches the other night and started playing the campaign, trying to unlock stuff. I'm hoping maybe they'll throw in that SP mode for this one, just because. I think
that would be a good idea.
Tough.
Game Genie came in handy back in the day.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those games. The first few levels are fine, but like you almost need a strategy guide. Some of them are tricky. John, I know you said you might play the campaign mode. It is hard to know what to do in some of these games. I did ask the multiplayer mode. It's just like all the NSO games, right? It's only with friends. Right? You can't just go say I want to play a multiplayer match and find people that want to play.
That's because it's not multiplayer. You're just giving control, just like every other game, to other controllers. So
I know that, but the way they boosted this game,
there's
like this little tiny lemon or something in the back of my mind saying there's a chance. There's a chance that it's gonna just be like online mode, but it's not.
I'm hoping that maybe there's like the enhanced or the remake version comes down the road and we get that then. But
I don't
unfortunately,
think
it's old code. It's built for an old system. The only reason it even works on N64 is because it can just do online for anything.
Correct.
And the only reason why online's even here is because it has a local multiplayer. That's the only reason you can play online multiplayer, because the game has a local multiplayer. That's it.
The thing that bothers me too, and I didn't realize this before until just recently, you can't only take one player online per system too for those games. Like you'd think since you can do local and online that maybe like if I had a buddy here, we could both be playing two other friends.
Yeah,
you can't do that, and that's a big bummer too because it would help with the lag issues as well. Like you'd only have maybe one other.
So it's either you play just against each other or one person has to sit out and you try to have 3 friends. Yeah, I know what you're saying. So what's your overall opinion? I mean, how's it playing for you? How's the controls?
I am loving the 64 controller. So glad that I have one for that reason. I'm not a first-person shooter dual stick player really, so the C buttons I feel at home with. It feels great. I did fire it up on Xbox to try it on there a little bit too, but the sticks got me going all over, up and down, and I just get sick playing it. Because they have Perfect Dark on there too, which they've had for years on Xbox, and they did do the enhanced visuals for that one, but it never felt right. Like I want to be able to take the 64 controller with me over to the Xbox, and unfortunately, you can't do that thus far.
Yeah. So I've been playing it too, so I'll talk about it a little bit. I mean, it's definitely like riding a bike. The controllers are fine. I even tried it. I used the 64 controller as well, but I did try it with the Pro controller just to see, like, other people were saying, well, the difficulties of it. It's not bad. I mean, yeah, you use the ZL button for the shooting, but you use the R button to aim. The biggest thing too is like these old school games is to remember that like the left stick makes you go in all directions. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you just try to remember that you turn, and it's not like you use the right joystick to turn. But yeah, I mean, I played through the first 2 levels. It's like riding a bike. All the muscle memory comes right back. It's fun. I mean, at the end of the day, it met my expectation of being a very old N64 game, one of the original first person shooters. And the fact that you only can play with, up to 4 people and they have to be your friends. It's unfortunately, I think, going to die quickly. But with that being said, I'd love to play with some people. I'd love to, jump on.
Chris HL94 has been playing it a lot.
Yeah, I need to jump on and play.
What's your favorite deathmatch setup?
I honestly don't have a favorite. I was always against the cave back in the day, just because the cave is always hard to see. But no, I mean, I guess I would say proximity mines has always been one of my favorite, because you get to a level where like facility or something where you can put them like underneath the walkways, and then you just never know, and you just throw them everywhere. I don't think there was a limit either, so you could put them where all like the people are dead ends and doors and stuff, and it's just proximity mines are the best. What's your favorite?
They started disappearing after a certain point, if I remember. But
they might over time or something, was it, or maybe after you threw 20 or something?
Memory constraints.
I liked remote mines more than proximity. I love being able to hit the quick A and B buttons to detonate without having to switch to the watch button. And then, but we mostly played one-shot kills with pistols, and that was our favorite way to play. So we got some of those in the other day, and it was, I don't know. It was
pretty much golden gun, but everyone's a golden gun, which is fun.
Occasionally, if you grab the body armor, you might get an extra hit. It was kind of random. But I'm loving it. I'm so glad it's there, and it's got me excited to see if any other rare games come, like Diddy Kong Racing, or maybe even Perfect Dark there too.
I agree. Let's get together over the next week and play.
Excellent.
I think all of the N64 games for Nintendo Online that have been announced have been released now, I believe.
I think there's a couple more.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Snowboarding one, 1080. I think I remember that one.
Okay. Because we had gone a long time between N64 releases. Strangely, it feels like yesterday, but I think it was like a few months, and then GoldenEye dropped.
What else do we have, Andy?
Mario Party 3 still supposed to come. I think. Did they drop 2 in early November, right before Extra?
1 and 2 came together.
1 and 2 came together. The problem with that is it's all of the Superstar games, pretty much. So why wouldn't you rather play it remastered?
Those were the last games they put on until GoldenEye, I think, right?
Yeah.
There was no game in December, I don't think. Which I don't know if that was a whole plan to come out in December and got delayed because it said coming soon, and then it turned into next year. I don't know what happened there.
Nice. What else have you been playing?
Also, I've been playing Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on the Switch with my daughter. We beat it in the co-op mode. It's kind of a cheat because when you're playing together, if she dies, she can always come right back to where you're at. Where if you're playing single player and you lose your Kong, like you might not be able to get them back at that level at all. Like sometimes you start a level and you need a certain Kong to get to a secret exit or something, and if you don't have that Kong, you're kind of screwed.
Gotcha.
Whereas playing, she didn't really, help a lot, but she had fun, and I don't know, it's not really set up great for if you're both skilled players anyway, because one person's momentum would always throw off the other person's timing, and if you played New Super Mario Brothers, the bubble mechanic they'd have. You could choose when you pop the bubble, kind of. And this, if you lag behind, it just throws you forward and drops you. And so if you're like hanging from a vine or something like that, the person just falls to their death again. But she still had fun. I'd let her, pull the little plugs every now and again and jump up and hit the barrel at the end. And she enjoyed just watching it for the most part. So
nice.
But that's Donkey Kong Country for the Switch. I had it on the Wii U and never beat it, and I think I just wasn't ducking at the end boss or something. But
we need a new one. We need a new
I never
Donkey
played
Kong.
that one, and I've always wanted to.
Really?
I just wish it was like. I just wish that was a game that's like $20, so then I would just buy it. I just find my heart like self like.
Man.
I know I need to play that. Like,
one of the great things about Tropical Freeze is it's a really challenging game. It's got so much variety. You play through it, you have a ton of fun. Then wave 2 is you try to get all the completion stuff. And I remember doing that, and it's really hard. You got to get all the Kongs and all, everything like that. Then you have the time trials.
Mm-hmm.
So basically you can 100% the game by getting all the items, but you can 200% the game by doing all the time trials. And I had saved that. I was like, okay, I'm going to come back to this game somewhere down the road. I'm going to do all the time trials. And I started it one day, and it was so hard. And I was like, all right, that's not happening. But there's it's just, the game has so much replayability, and it's so good. So it's worth
really
it.
good.
It's worth it.
I did grab it on sale around Christmas time or something like that. And
like $40 or $42, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. It was 20 on Wii U at one point, and you're kind of annoyed that you had to pay the extra tax, but
you get Funky Kong.
You get Funky Kong, and I think they gave you extra hearts and stuff for the co-op mode too. Yeah, so
it's worth it.
It is fun. You should definitely play it at some point.
Nice.
What's the difference if it's old, Drew? You haven't played it. It's a $60 game.
No, I don't disagree.
Totally get it.
I just
better than Sports Story. What else you got?
Well, been playing the Ding Dong XL. We covered that.
That's right.
Strikers, every time there's a season, I'm in there. And except for the one that I missed, which I don't know how that happened. They've kind of thrown off their rhythm there. They were doing a week on, week off, and now it's like, I don't know, 5 days, a couple of days off, and then it starts again. But mainly those things. I got Ghost of Tsushima for Christmas. And I have not played that yet, so I'm kind of trying to finish off Donkey Kong before. Been really trying to not buy as many games until I beat some of these other things I've had lately. But I got the Ghost for Christmas, so
I've heard really good about that game. I haven't played it yet either.
I want to play God of War, but I didn't get that yet, and just I don't know.
Do you have the PS Plus Extra or no?
No, I have.
Oh, okay.
I have PS Plus and I have PS5, but it was embarrassing last year. I got the year in review thing, and it said that I played the PlayStation for 20 hours. And I was like, okay, well, what am I doing?
Yeah, there's some good stuff on there. But awesome. I can't wait to hear about that. I want to play that. I'm playing that this year as well. So
other than that, maybe playing some Beat Saber here and there, and some Pistol Whip. I got both of those on PSVR as well as on an Oculus. So, as I'm spoiled again, sorry.
Your wife comes home from a day at work, and you're just like at the VR seat on. The kids are like, "Wah," like that, and you're just like, "What? Who's home?" Sweet.
How about you guys?
I'll go first, Drew.
Sure.
I've got a lot of games, but I'm going to be quick on these first several. I just feel like I haven't updated them in a while, so we'll just bang through them. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Oh, baby. I finished. I'm not totally done with this game, but I'm done for now. I think I ended at 111 hours on this run.
God bless. On this run. Just fucking
I
talk
did.
about it like it's the road.
I did. I replayed the base game. I did every quest I could find, except for one, which is like glitching. I can't do it. Because as you know, I played through the Gwent this time around. I must have played like 200 games of Gwent.
This game is truly only
111
hours, and you did every quest? I thought every quest would be like triple that amount of time.
No, every quest that I could find. I did every Witcher contract, that's for sure, because I got a trophy for that. But yeah, everything I found, if I saw a yellow mark come up, or I went through every town. I mean, everything that I could find that I came across, and I went everywhere. Longer. Yeah, and I had to do all of these treasure hunt quests and everything. Yeah. So it make you go to these areas and then you find other quests. So I'm not looking up a guide and like seeing like I haven't done that one, but everything's done except for collect every Gwent card. But there's 2 cards that I just can't get, and I have used a guide for this as I got into the end. You had to play a game of Gwent, and the person is now gone or dead, and they patched the game so that their cards would be left for you. That's happened to me before in this game, but I can't find these cards anywhere. I've looked a million times. So whatever, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But I did the Blood and Wine expansion. I did every quest in there, and I never did that one before. So I really had fun with that. I did Hearts of Stone again. I did every quest there, everything. So I'll probably go in again at some point and just look for some quests and see. But yeah, I just had a blast. So that was great fun.
Which platform again?
I played it on PS5. I would get a crash like every other day where the game would just freeze. And that was a little problematic. And then when you come back, I think I mentioned this last time, the new settings are reset.
Yes.
And so I had like 5 settings that I was changing. And I had every time the game I have to reboot the game, I have to go in and change those settings again. Really annoying. Yeah. Somebody else, I can't remember was it Esco? Was complaining that it was crashing a lot more often for them. I don't know why. So hopefully they patch that up. But it's great. The remaster is brilliant. The DLC is brilliant. Absolutely love it. A little to the left. I haven't talked about this in a while. Great game, chill game. I got it for chill. But they have this mode that I think I've talked about, which is the daily.
Can we save that quote?
For chill.
I got it for chill.
Sometimes you need a chill game. And I love Picross, but my problem with Picross is I have like 300 puzzles to do. And by the end of it, I hate it. So they need to make Picross games with like 50 puzzles.
You don't have to do them all, John. You can just enjoy a game and play what you want.
Yeah, do. But a little to the left, I beat all the quests like within a week that it came out. It's not that long. But I've been doing the daily tidy. And so this has been like my daily. First thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I play through. They have these daily tidies. They are not released every day or whatever. If you change the clock on your Switch, you can then play the next one, the next one, the next one. They're just in there. I don't know if they're randomized or not, but there's these badges that you get as you reach a certain number of them. And you need to do 360 daily tidies to get all the badges, basically a year's worth. And I can tell you that even though I enjoy every day coming in, doing my tidy, feeling like I've accomplished something for the day, it is the same. Like there's like 6 or 7 puzzles and then just kind of a random version of it. So it's like, you're like this. You're like this. It's just awful. And I'm doing it and whatever. Sometimes they take me literally like 5 seconds. Sometimes they take a few minutes, but none of them are hard at this point. I know how to do all of them. So that's a little to the left, but I do love it. I totally recommend that game and do the daily tidies. Just, I'm curious to see what's going to happen at the end of the year. Now I know why Drew was celebrating.
I did not pick that game up. Drew, did you pick up a little left?
I did not.
No.
He doesn't like to chill.
I'm not just a chill down.
I was interested, and then I don't know. Somebody was You're good on it then?
I mean,
Oh,
what's the
yeah,
best
no,
way
it's
to
great.
compare it to? A little bit longer WarioWare stylish type game?
No,
You
it's
love WarioWare.
nothing. It's nothing like that. It's just very chilly. It's unlimited time. You just play the puzzle. You can even skip them. Yeah, if anything, just put it on your wish list. Wait for a sale. It's cool. And then, like, let the spouse play or something like that.
I think I have some money sitting in the eShop. So
Yeah,
I'll get to that
from us.
later.
I've never heard of anybody who played the game who didn't enjoy
like
it. It's really good. And then if you
All
do
right.
the daily tidies, it just gives you something to do for the whole year. So
Cool.
Nintendo Switch Sports.
God
Such
fucking
shame.
why, John?
I am so ashamed. I played this game for 40 weeks. And
I'd
for
rather
the last
tell somebody I shit my pants than tell them I play this game every week.
probably the last 35 weeks, my wife stopped playing the last 35 weeks. And every Thursday, they put out a new sheet with 12 new items, words and costumes and whatever. And I will usually blast through it on Thursday. And as soon as I finish off the sheet, I'm done for the week. It's not a game that I play. I love soccer, but I just play it to get everything. I don't know why. I just want to have everything they offer, even if I'm not doing it to enjoy it while I play. I don't play it unless I'm earning items.
Hate play.
2 weeks ago, I woke up one morning. I saw the sheet. It was not an interesting set of outfits.
Oh, it wasn't Mario, John?
No, it's not Mario yet. And I was
guess.
like,
Can I guess here? The
What?
cycle, you ended the cycle and now you've lost it. Yeah.
And well,
it's like
now I'm
Animal
back.
Crossing. As soon as you stopped that hell of going in there, that hate play,
yeah.
Yeah.
that's what you needed. The one day you missed and then you could step away.
Sorry, Andy, you got it all wrong. I
No.
stopped.
Wednesday night, he was up at 9 p.m. finishing. He's like, I gotta go back and get it.
I actually tweeted out my retirement. I was not intrigued by the items. I knew I had to stop at some point. I retired, and then I didn't play it that week. And then the next week after that, I was like,
What
All
have
right,
I
I'm back.
done?
I'm back.
I'm
And
back.
I played through 2 sheets of items.
Oh, you can get the last weeks too?
Oh yeah, they roll off every few
Yeah.
weeks.
Ah,
It's not like you have a week.
See,
If you remember,
you gotta quit Andy for 4 weeks, and John
Yeah.
can't do that.
I will tell you, if that sheet rolled off, I would have been done. I'd be like, I can't get everything. I'm done. But it's still there. And yeah, so I played through. They had multipliers going for badminton. I was just intentionally losing badminton. It was great. I was just trying to lose, and I actually scored a point. And I was like, what happened? I just scored a point because the other person was just trying to lose. So I scored a point on them and actually beat them.
So much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Wait, why would you try to lose? I don't get it because it's
No,
fast.
you
He just wants the points. He doesn't care.
you get 30 points if you lose, but you were getting 1.3x. So I was getting 39 points even if I lost. So you just lose to get through the game quicker.
It's faster. Yes.
Yeah, badminton is really bad. It's the worst sport on there because it's just so hard to get a damn point.
Yeah.
So just making it fast.
I haven't gone back for the golf yet, and I thought I was waiting and waiting and waiting for the golf, and then it came, and I was like, meh.
The golf
That's
is
what I thought. I played it
the
for about
golf
an
is
hour,
fun.
and I'm done.
the
It was
golf
fine,
is fun. Yeah,
but what's your motivation? Again,
just to
you
play
know?
golf. I mean, everyone has a different motivation. Some people play for the rankings. So that's one, or some people just play for fun, or some people play for the points and get items. I play for the items. I love soccer to death, but I'm just not, there's other things to play. But yeah, so I'm back in again. So I'm at 42 weeks in. I'm going to guess this, Drew. I think there's 10 weeks left of this game, and the 52nd card is the last. That's 1 year, right?
Really?
And
I
I
was
think at
just gonna
52, they're going to end it because if you bought this game today and played it, you would go through sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3 from the beginning. So I think they're giving you a year of
restart it.
content, and then that's it. I think that's what's going to happen. So
No, it's
I'm
just
going to
gonna loop.
play the next 10 weeks.
And you think it's just going to loop after that?
I think it might loop or it might end. I don't know. We'll see what they do. I can see them looping if you haven't finished one, like they'll bring the card back.
I mean, the Christmas stuff came at Christmas time, right?
Yeah, and I think that was just synced to when the game released because I don't think
you
it
think it's
syncs
all
up that
built
way.
into this. You think you could go change your clock till next Thursday and find out what it is?
I don't know. I know that they put in batches of 12 at a time, and that they do data mine it. I never looked to see because it would ruin everything.
So you don't think there's more sports coming to this either then?
No, I don't think there's any more sports coming to it. I think it's pretty much like
That's
you'll
so
get 10 more weeks of
disappointing.
content, and then that's it. It's done.
I feel like
Maybe the last week will be Mario stuff. Drew.
And then Switch Sports 2, and you'll have another year of outfits.
Oh, God, no.
fool me once.
Next quick game to go through. I finished up the Messenger Picnic Panic. So I played the Messenger before. I really don't want to talk about it. But Hambone got me turned on.
That's not a first.
To play Picnic Panic. It's a free DLC. It's a free DLC I had never played, but it'd been years since I played the Messenger. So I decided I'm going to play through the Messenger again. Maybe I'll try to complete it this time, get all the items, and then I'll do Picnic Panic.
I love how you have to replay an entire game to just enjoy the DLC.
Because they teach you the mechanics as you go, and I don't remember the game at all. So how do you just jump in cold?
That's why I hate games that do this. I do.
Every game does it.
Anyway.
So here's the problem. When the Messenger came out, I loved the beginning of the Messenger, the first several hours of the Messenger, but then the game becomes a Metroidvania and navigation gets really weird and clunky. And then I really didn't enjoy it anymore. So when I played through it this time, I was once again like, wow, this is such a great game. Like, what did I not see before? Like, this is a great game. And you get through what seems to be in a normal indie game, the final boss. But then the game becomes a Metroidvania again. And once again, I immediately disliked it. You don't know where you are in the world. They give you a few portals, and they're very mysterious about what you're supposed to do. Like, they don't give you that, just go from the left to the right, right? It's like, you need to get this thing. You have to get these musical notes. We won't tell you where they are, how to get them. It's just like, and I realized again, I don't like this game. So luckily I didn't delete my first save file. I just went to my first save file and dropped the second one. And I went into the Picnic Panic DLC. So I'll tell you this. The Picnic Panic DLC is completely standalone. It's if you go into the shop, there's a little orb and you just click it and you go and you do the DLC. You do need to know the mechanics of the game, which is why I had replayed it. But I will say, I enjoyed the Picnic Panic DLC. It was difficult, but it had good variety in gameplay. The first level you do is like a Battletoads style. We have to jump over rocks and this sort of thing. And I was thinking, is this the Picnic Panic DLC? But it was just the one level, and then that was it. And then most of the rest of the DLC is the same as the regular game, a little harder and whatever, but just more levels. Then it culminated in a final level, which was a bunch of races. So I want to say it's like Super Meat Boy style, where you have to race this computer to the end, and you have to win 5 races before they win 5 races. I found that really fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And then the final boss is a Punch-Out style final boss. It is hilarious. It was a total surprise to me. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved it. So I would say, and so it was about 3 hours of content.
Perfect.
And I enjoyed it.
Was this a free update, you said?
It's a free update. You have to go and download it, but it's free. And I would totally recommend this. If you played the Messenger and you have a save file, I don't even think you need to have beaten the game to play it. Maybe you do. But it was very enjoyable. I'm glad I did it. So
nice. It's on my backlog. I need to get to that as well.
Yeah. I'd be curious to see if you like the Metroidvania part. I just hate it. It makes me angry. I hated it. But the first part of the game is amazing. So the 2 games I wanted to talk about, Hi-Fi Rush. Drew doesn't know anything about this. Maybe Andy does.
Fault, because I was looking up a stretch guide today, and this popped up for some reason. And a bunch of screenshots. But besides that, I just know what it looks like. No idea what it's about.
Did you say Hi-Fi Rush or Hi-Fi?
Hi-Fi. Like
Hi-Fi. Maybe it's Fi, like in Skyward Sword.
No.
Okay.
So let me tell you about Hi-Fi Rush. On Xbox's Developer Digital, which I think was Wednesday, they announced a bunch of Forza Motorsports and like a bunch of other games, Minecraft Legends. And the surprise game was a game called Hi-Fi Rush, which had never really been announced. It had been leaked a little bit, never been announced. And they just basically announced it and shadow dropped it. It's by Bethesda, by one of the small dev studios that Bethesda owns. So this game has a cool, like little cell shaded, more of a comic book look to it.
Yeah,
and it's dubbed a rhythm action game. So for the most part, it's an action game where you have to do your hits on the beat. So think Crypt of the Necrodancer, but a 3D game that's way more fun and has more levity to it. You play as a character named Chai. All the characters in the game have like sort of food names. There's a girl named Peppermint. There's a not Mocha. I can't remember. But yeah, so you are recruited to work for this tech company, and you get this robot arm, and something happens in the process of giving you your robot arm, and you are considered a defect, and they want to terminate you. And so you basically have to escape the company's droids. And you come to find out that there's like some sabotage going on in the company, and you start making friends, and yeah, you play through it. Like I said, it's musical, so you're supposed to hit on the beat. So if like everything in the environment is like going at the beat, it's like doop, 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 the music, the stuff in the background, everything. You can put a little sound wave thing on your screen if you want, but I wouldn't recommend it. And if you hit on the beat, boom, 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 you get like bonuses, that sort of thing. It was fun. I had a good time. I did roll credits. I posted that I am the first 1% to beat this game. So take that. First 1%. I'd say the game's about 15 hours long. Looks delicious. It's a brilliantly looking game. They cut between like comic strip like cutscenes and in-game footage that looks really close. And they do these like clever things. You can tell the difference, but they do these things to kind of go between them. What seems like more seamlessly. I enjoyed the music in the game. I enjoyed the characters. Lots of good humor and very meta. There's a lot of meta humor to the game. A lot of like pointing out jokes about games of this type and like, how did this happen? And how did we go from this stage to back to the hideout? So the humor in the game is really good. What's that?
Was that Xbox only then, or is that on PlayStation as well?
It's Xbox exclusive. It's on Game Pass.
Okay.
You can buy it. I think it's $30 if you want to buy it. I will say this. It is one of those games where it gets a bit repetitive. So the initial few hours are really fun, and then you're just doing stage after stage after stage, and you are fighting the same fucking enemies over and over and over and over again. It is Bayonetta style. So you get to a part of the stage, and then like you're in a circle and it ropes off. So it's like you have to fight these battles and you can't escape it. I got a trophy because an achievement that I had done 50 of these battles, which doesn't seem bad, except oftentimes when the battle ends, a new set of robots come in and you fight a second round and sometimes a third round. So you're talking about over 100 of these battles, and they are always, there's like 6 different robots. It drives you insane. So you need to be a bit of a patient gamer if you want to get to the end of this game. But that being said, it was about 15 hours. And
not terrible.
I will say, yeah, and I'll say, like, I've played games like this where it's just the same thing over and over again, but the humor and the visual style of this game, plus the occasional variety, like just when it feels like you're doing the same thing for like an hour, there's going to be like a little difference or a little variety, and you're like, it kind of picks you back up again. It has a really good ending to it. So if you can just kind of get through like the middle to 3/4 of this game, that's the same thing. It's a good time. It's definitely a good Game Pass game too. As if you find yourself getting bored, you can just drop it. So I enjoyed that. And then the last game to talk about is Fire Emblem Engage.
Ooh.
If Fire Emblem Engage is great.
Let me just say this before you talk it.
Mm-hmm.
Sell me why I should be playing this game next.
I don't know if it's a Drew game.
Well, I'm gonna try it.
So Fire Emblem is Fire Emblem. I feel like everyone sort of played it at some point. It's a turn-based tactics game. It's not in the vein of a Wargroove or a Advance Wars, in that all of your characters are individuals with their own personalities. There are no throwaway units in Fire Emblem games. And historically, when a character dies, they are permanently dead. So there's usually like a couple characters that can't die. If they die, then you lose and you'll restart. But the other characters, they're all like expendable. They'll die, but they never come back. Fire Emblem Engage has been released on the heels of 3 Houses from a few years ago. And Three Houses offered like Garreg Mach, and there's a lot more social stuff in the game. Fire Emblem games often have social aspects, but that was a very formal schooling thing, and you taught your people and all that stuff. Three Houses, I can't recommend it enough. It was brilliant. Fire Emblem Engage is more old school Fire Emblem. It's about battles and then raising the stats of your characters. You have the same support conversations, which help when your characters are near each other in battle. So that still happens, but there's no there's no tea parties or anything like that. And then for the most part, you go into the next battle and you fight that battle. From that perspective, the story that's playing out in Fire Emblem Engage, I won't talk about it because it's completely bland. It's, you're another character. Yeah, you have amnesia. You wake up from 1,000 years of sleep. Suck on it, Breath of the Wild. 100 years. 1,000 years you've been asleep. Strangely, your mother's been waiting for you. It's like, holy shit.
She's old.
And then you just fight through battles. There's a whole story. I won't even get into it. It's bland. The story's been bland in this game, but the characters are awesome. So as you fight battles, generally a character who was either on the other side or someone you rescued, they join your squad. And all the characters are super colorful and they have different personalities. It's fantastic. What I've noticed with this game is the roster of characters is really large. Sometimes you'll go into a battle and you only have like 8 people, but you have like 25 characters. So you get to pick and choose who you want to bring into that battle. And you can choose based on strategy. If there's a lot of archers on the enemy side, you don't want to bring your dragons in. If there's a lot of axe characters, you want to bring your swordsmen in. Or you just pick your favorite people and play them. Or, as sometimes I do, I try to drag in 1 or 2 weaklings and see if I can get them some cheap kills to like grind them up. But I just love the cycle of the game. I absolutely love it. Interestingly enough, there's no weapon breakage in this game. If you've played previous games, if you have like a silver sword, you could use it 50 times and then it will break. And so you have to fix it before it breaks. And then the strategy is if you have a character that has a silver sword on them and maybe an iron sword and a steel sword, and you're fighting an enemy and they're pretty weak, you can say, I'll use this shitty sword on them, save my good stuff when I need a really good shot on them. This game doesn't have that. So if you get a silver sword, you give it to one of your swordsmen and you have one of the best swords in the game and it's unlimited, which is fine. I'm enjoying that. I'm trying to like every time I do a battle, I go check the store, see if there's new stuff. All my archers have longbows, that sort of thing. So I'm enjoying that. So I love this game. There's times when I can be totally addicted to this game. It does have some quirks. Probably too many quirks. There seems to be a lot of subsystems added into the game that don't really offer any enjoyment or, from what I can tell, any purpose. You have a puppy in this game. Very cute. I named mine Yogi. That's my wife's handle. I don't know what it does. When you come back to the main area, you pet it, you feed it. I've maxed it out, quote unquote. I don't know what that means.
What does that mean?
I don't know if do I not have to pet the dog anymore? Like, I don't know. You can dress up the dog. I'll get into that, but like you can dress up the dog and all that stuff. I don't get it. I don't know why it's there. Whatever. There's animals you can adopt. After every battle, there's random animals on the level, and you can adopt them, and you can put them in a little coop. And I think it makes more items appear nearby. Otherwise, I have no idea what the animals are for. So it's just like these weird things. One of the core concepts of this game is there's these emblem rings. And when you have an emblem ring, it's a character from the old games. So Lynn is in this game and Byleth from Three Houses is in this game. And so you give it to a character, and then at points in the battle, you can use the ring. And you sort of, it's hard to describe, but if you were, say, an archer and your emblem ring is Ike, right? Then you basically become Ike. So one strategy that I use is if I have an archer, I get an emblem ring of a swordsman, so that if I need to like do a sword attack, I can use the emblem ring and be a sword attack. Or if you are a magician, have a physical character. Or if you're a swordsman, you can have an archer emblem ring. All that is cool, but there's these bond rings that you have to like earn. It's almost like a mobile game. And I don't understand the bond rings at all. It's just another system. We don't need it. We don't need these systems.
I hate when games do this. Like, just you got something good going and just overcomplicate shit. It's
exactly.
like sometimes I wish these games that came out would just sometimes just be simple.
Be
And
simple.
I think that's why I talked about in the past. Like Paper Mario's pretty. I love it because it's fun, but it's pretty simple.
Yep.
It's like you want health, badge, or FP. That's it.
Yeah, and you upgrade one, and it's like you feel great. Yeah. So the cycle of this game is you fight a battle, and that's the best part of the game. When it's done, it's kind of cool. You're on the battlefield of that battle, and you can run around in like 3D. So it's kind of like a neat view. You've been looking at a 2D overview of it, and now you're kind of running in 3D. And you pick up like random shit on the battlefild. It's like eggs, nuts, like flour.
So you just to feed your animals.
Right.
Feed your animals.
So after you fight the battle, you do that part. And then when you pick it up, you depart the battlefield. You go back to Somniel. I can't remember the name of it. You go back to your hub. And then in the hub, there's random crap that's on the floor in the hub. So you have to go around and pick up all the crap on the floor. You can ignore it. Who cares about eggs and all these ingredients? I never use them. But there's also like the ingot stuff, like iron, steel, silver. And you need that to build weapons and improve your weapons. So you have to do it. Even though you want to ignore it, you need to upgrade your weapons. So then you got to do that. Then you got to do your support conversations to improve the bonds between the characters. And then there's like paying money to increase the 4 regions so that you can, I don't know, do other stuff. I'm not really sure what that's for. It's just like all these things you got to do. So it takes about like 5 to 10 minutes, depending, between battles. Then you go pick another battle. And there's the mainline battles. And then, historically, there's always training battles where you can kind of grind your characters. This one seems a bit different. Every time you have a ring, you can do a paralogue, which is about that character. And it's a tough challenge. But if you beat the challenge, you unlock, you can bond with that emblem ring more. So you kind of like want to try to unleash the maximum potential of that emblem ring. So I make sure to do those every time. And they're right now harder than the main line of the game. And then there's other skirmishes and whatever. One thing I'm missing is usually I would use those battles to grind up my really weak guys. I have right now like almost 30 characters. And I have some wimpy dudes that, like, because they're wimpy, I don't bring them into battle, so they just get wimpier and wimpier. And I have no way of, like, grinding them up. Sometimes games have a way. Remember, like, the Heroes games, like, you can grind them up by paying gold or whatever. Right now, they're just languishing, and I don't know what to do.
So if you put them in battle and they just sit back and don't even, do they level up, though, or no?
No, you gotta, like, kill.
It's not like Pokemon, where it's just if they're in your party.
Yeah. And some of the training battles, they do give you bonus XP at the end, so maybe that's true for them. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, there's probably some mechanics I'm missing because there's a lot of mechanics in the game.
And how long is the battle, you said?
They can be like 45 minutes. They can go a while. Some are shorter. It just depends. But right now, my battles are going like at least a half hour to 45 minutes. I'm enjoying them.
So you haven't beaten the game yet?
No, I'm at like chapter 17 right now.
How many chapters are there?
They're pretty quick. They're basically every mainline battle is a chapter.
Gotcha.
I'm really enjoying it. I just wish that extra cruft wasn't there so I can go a little bit more in. But I have a set of characters that are getting really strong. I'm doing all the training battles, and there's so many. Like I'm like decide like who I want to bring in. You get really strategic about it. I had a moment today I have to brag about where the main enemies in your battles can be pretty strong. And so, if you don't finish them off, they're probably going to kill one of your dudes and you'll have to rewind time. Historically, you would like restart the whole battle. In this game, you can rewind time to anywhere, anytime in normal mode. But it's like, I really need to like finish this guy off. I had an archer that couldn't hit from 3 spaces away because he didn't have a longbow. So I couldn't use him to get what I thought would be a final shot. And I had another archer way down below that did have the longbow. And I realized I brought them all the way up to the last spot they could reach, which was next to the other archer. And you can actually, when you get next to another character, you can trade items. So I traded that archer my longbow. So my other archer had it. And then he went up and the last spot was 3 spaces away. And he could take a shot on the boss, and I knocked off the boss. It was this beautiful like relay of a longbow. Get the longbow! So yeah, moments like that in the game. Different players are, strategic or not with it. I'm not a master of the game, but archers can destroy the dragons. Magic destroys the heavily armored dudes. Swords beat axes. Axes beat lances. Lances beat swords.
Are there counters and stuff that you can do, like quick time, like Mario Party, or not?
Oh,
Mario Party, Paper Mario
like
stuff?
you attack somebody and it just happens.
It just happens all the time.
Often in Fire Emblem games, if an enemy attacks you, you will counter back. So it's one of those kind of games. I think Wargroove had this, Drew, where sometimes you don't want to attack an enemy because if you attack the enemy, they'll hit you back.
Counterattack,
and then when it's their turn, they'll kill you.
Correct.
So sometimes you just move next to an enemy and then you just stay there so that you can get hit and then get life. But after playing through Tactics Ogre, where you have to like hit somebody like 10 times to kill them, I just love Fire Emblem. There's so many times if you get the right matchups, you just kill a dude in one shot. It's just like, it's so expedient. And I don't care that the battles are 45 minutes. You're just constantly like killing dudes, making your way slowly across the map. But like, whereas Tactics Ogre, I feel like the battles were the same length of time, but it was like a smaller level and you're just like, hit the guy. And it's just forever. It's just slow and whatever. So I love it. Right now I'd put it at like an 8.5 out of 10. It's not my favorite Fire Emblem game of all time because I think it has all these little extra systems that just don't need to be there. But yeah, and normal mode has the infinite time rewind, and the weapons. I think it's true in the game. The weapons don't degrade. I did hear from Dylan. He's playing on hard mode because he's hardcore. You do not have infinite rewinds in hard mode. So I would say, like, if you really want a challenge from this game, play the hard mode. Like I said, I love Fire Emblem for the casualness of it. I just love the feeling of killing enemies. It makes me feel great. But kill. I don't need the challenge out of this. This is like sort of my chill game. So
is the battle the same as it was in like Three Houses then? Like the battles themselves?
Battle plays out the same. Three Houses had different mechanics. I think the weapon triangle didn't exist in Three Houses.
I have Three Houses. I've been sitting on that. But I was like, should I start with Awakening if I want to get into this?
Oh, no. Start with Three Houses. Yeah. None of the stories connect. So you never have to worry about that. Just play the newest one.
And if I don't like the battles, I'm probably not going to like it.
Yeah. This one's more battle centric. Yeah.
No, I've never played one either. That's my fear.
I snagged it on sale again and it's sitting in the...
I think Three Houses is the better of the two games to start with. Three Houses is just a better game, like overall, but I do love like I said, I thought this would be the concise battle thing. And it's like a little too much. To be fair, you do not have to do the support conversations. You don't have to pick up the ingots. You'd be mostly fine, I think, if you never did any of that. It helps to have your weapons a little bit more upgraded, but you also get better weapons through the game without having to do that. So if you want, you could just quit doing it. Maybe I should. You don't have to do it, but the mechanic is there, so you feel.
Why not just like when you complete a battle, it's like you've earned, and then it shows like all like like you've learned 5 ignites. You've earned, like why do you have to go collect them?
They make you run around to pick up like the 4 things on the map. It's so stupid. Yeah. Last thing I'll say is the big question when you play Fire Emblem: do you play casual or classic? Casual is not permadeath. So if a character dies on the battlefield, they don't really die; they faint, right? So if you lose a bunch of characters. But if you beat the level, they'll all come back. Classic is permadeath. I recommend permadeath for one reason, because you can rewind it as much as you want anyway. So if you don't want to lose this character, just rewind and figure out how to do it. And it almost becomes like a puzzle game where you're like, okay, I lost this guy, and rewinding feels like a cheat, but you still have to figure out how am I going to get past these dudes and not die. So even though if you beat it, like, because at times I was like, am I just cheating? Like I lost a character and I'm like, just rewind and do it again. But it's hard to figure out, where do I leave my characters to protect the mage? So I have to make sure I end with my beefy guy in front of them. So it's almost like it becomes like a puzzle. Okay. So I would say play classic mode and just use the rewind as much as you can and try to get through all the levels without losing a single character. That's what I recommend.
So I mean, let me ask this question then. Like, you're in chapter 17. If you're playing permadeath, could you technically lose the game? Or could you just like reboot a saved file?
if you lose
all your characters.
if you lose enough characters,
Yeah.
I've never had it happen, but you can get probably to an unwinnable state where you just don't have like all your archers are dead or your magicians are dead. You can change classes with characters. So I guess there's that, but yeah, you'd be set back quite a bit if that was the case. I generally play that I try not to lose any characters. When I get later in the game, if I have like a very minor character that dies that I don't care too much about, and I go, I'll just complete it, whatever. I know I'm near the end, then I will. But yeah, mostly in the beginning, just try not to lose a bunch of characters. You'll learn how to play. You can rewind all the way back to the beginning of the battle if you wanted to, honestly. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, if you've never played Fire Emblem before, I would say play 3 Houses. But if you have played Fire Emblem, you'll love this. But this game's great. I think even Tim has been playing a lot of this. And this is his first Fire Emblem game. So I've
played some of the mobile for the my Nintendo Platinum points, and that's been about it. But
yeah, I love it. I'm gonna get back into the Heroes game on mobile too. I did love that. So for both of these games, Hi-Fi Rush, Fire Emblem Engage, neither of them is gonna win Game of the Year. They both have their shortcomings for sure. But I definitely recommend both of them.
Cool. Kind of makes you just want to play Wargroove again.
Wargroove is so much fun. Good. Yeah.
We need a Wargroove.
Advance Wars might be coming soon.
It's got to be. All right. I've been playing 2 big games. I'll just mention that the wife and I are still playing through Bud Fables. It's Bud Fables, whatever the hell it's called. It's
Bud
fun.
Fables.
It's no Paper Mario. I mean, rephrase it. It's a direct replica of Paper Mario. It doesn't have, I think, the Paper Mario charm just because of the Nintendo universe. But yeah, it's fun. It's cute. It's fun. It's good.
It's funny too, right? The dialogue's good. It's like
it is
funny.
dialogue. Yeah. Yep. Pokemon Sword. Let's talk about it because man. I am loving it. I'm 25 hours in. I don't know when I even got this game, but I'm 25 hours in. I already purchased the DLC, which means I spent like $90 on this game. I love it. I think I beat 5 or 6 gyms around there. And it's just the whole Dynamax and Gigantamax concept is so much fun. It's I will say, obviously, I have to compare this to Violet and Scarlet, which that Dynamax concept is so much better than the Crystallized concept. And are you a Pokemon guy or no?
I have not been. I was just going to say, did I hear you recently became a Pokemon fan?
So I have always just never really played Pokemon. And the thing was, I never hated it. It's just I think I missed the bandwagon. I thought I respected the concept of it. When Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee came out, I jumped on that. And my kids became obsessed watching it. It's that concept of these fun animals, right? And you gotta collect them all, and every time you see that silhouette, what is it gonna be? And then this is what it is, and then what's it gonna look like when it evolves? It's an addicting, repetitive-ish.
Who knew, Drew? Who knew?
So I got locked in, right? So I started with Let's Go. And then I tried Shining Pearl, and I hated it. I was this refined me. I was like, that's right. I'm not a Pokemon guy, even though I loved the Let's Go. And then when they came out with Violet and Scarlet recently, I was like, I'm going to give it a go. And I flew through Violet. I think I beat it before even the patch came out.
Wow.
So Violet was great because it was a very open world concept. But I'm going to say, John, I think I liked Pokemon Shield better than Violet.
Well, it doesn't run like garbage, so that's
so it's funny. So today, me and Evan, we turned on Violet for 30 minutes to play it, and I'm like, I think Pokemon Shield looks better.
Yes,
it's crazy. And don't get me wrong, Violet is a fun game. It's a little different and unique, and it's fun open world concept. But man, Shield is just so polished. I made it to I don't know if you remember the fairy forest when you go for the fairy gym. And it's that Avatar-ish type luminous mushrooms and stuff. It looked awesome for a Switch Pokemon game. It looked really colorful and bright. But this game is just I'm having an absolute blast. I don't know if I'll go for a full Pokédex, but maybe I will. Maybe I'll go back and play it with Evan a little bit more. and doing some raids and stuff like that. It's
What do you think of the what they call it, the wild mode, like the wild area? So
Yep.
there's an area in Shield where just the mechanics are a little bit different. You go in there, there's different kinds of Pokemon. You're kind of running around in 3D with the camera not fixed behind you. And that was sort of the beginning of the evolution of Pokemon. But now you're playing that now after playing Violet. So how does that area feel to you now?
That's a good point, right? So if you guys don't play, so Andy, let me explain it to you, right? So Violet and Scarlet is like a true openish type world, right? Best way to compare it is think of like Breath of the Wild type atmosphere and world environment, and you have like a mount Pokemon that you can use to get around quicker, and random Pokemon are everywhere. Sword and Shield is kind of the staple of what Pokemon was, is there's like these zones, right? So if you look at a map, right, it's like there's like these linear lines in the zone, and there's towns. So right, so let's say it's point A to point B. Right? Point A is a town and point B is a town. But the journey from point A to point B is kind of a mini open world. And that open world is, they kind of lock it in. I mean, when I say it's rather big though, it's still a big area. But I kind of like this idea, and that's the whole Pokemon concept is it kind of locks you in because it is kind of a linear game in a way, because you have to go to point A to point B to point C to point D in that order, and in the same time you have these mini open world zones where Violet is there's just completely open world. I can go to town A and then I can go to town D if I wanted to, or then back to F and back to B. Like there's no order.
Can you go from C to A?
In Sword and Shield?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can always go back, right? Because you can fly back.
Right. Okay.
No, you have to start at A for Sword and Shield.
Well, but if you go from B to A, then go to C, can you go from C to A?
Sure.
Sorry.
I'm missing it, I guess, John. Over my head. Unless it's what I think it is, and I'm just not sure.
No, keep going.
Caca? I don't know what's going on.
It's John. This is what John does every week. He's in his own little world.
I'm a Drew fan. I'm just a big Drew fan. What am I going to say?
Listen, up, down, left, right. No, this I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. I think I'm 25 hours, like I said, 5 badges or so, and cruising through. Hopefully, there's no new. I'm probably gonna need a Pokemon break after this.
Would you recommend, if you were starting, to start with Eevee or Let's Go Pikachu?
I think Let's Go, in my eyes, is the perfect Pokemon game to start with, and I think this is a great game you could play with your daughter. It like is the perfect age for a 7-year-old to just, even like if you want, like they sometimes like I'll play it, and then like if I'm gonna make dinner or something, they can kind of run around. It's easy enough for them to figure out, especially if they're watching you play. And then it kind of gets into like you play, I play concepts, and you take turns. But yeah, I think Let's Go was the perfect game to start in. And then honestly, I would probably then go to Sword and Shield if you really liked Let's Go, just based on what I've played, the 4 games that I've tried.
Yeah. Let's Go has the Pokemon Go mechanics. If you enjoyed Pokemon Go but never played a Pokemon game, Let's Go is a great game to start with. But the mechanics of that game are different than the core series.
They are.
So I would still say Pokemon Sword and Shield is a better place to start than Sketchy Scarlet and Volatile Violet right now.
Yeah, Sword and Shield. You could start at Sword and Shield too. But I
really want to play Scarlet and Violet. I'm still waiting for that damn patch.
It's not that bad. You're so hard on people.
I know, but you've seen Sword and Shield, and you were like, "Oh wow, it's way more polished. It's
smooth."
I'm waiting to enjoy it the most. I'm excited for it, but I just don't want to play it when it's all jank. I had to go through Sports Story with all the jankiness. I would have rather have waited, So anyway.
Well, like you said, it sounds like it's. I heard Per Schneider saying he thinks, they're going to patch things, but it sounded like a patch isn't fixing that game. But we'll hear more about that from Drew here, I'm sure. But Pokemon. My daughter's definitely interested. She's I was never interested in the past. I always thought it was more of a kid game, but I've heard countless podcast people saying that it's great. So I was like, yeah, maybe we should give this a try. Yeah. But she's gone to a birthday party earlier. I guess it was last year now, but it was Pokemon themed, and kids are giving her cards, and she's kind of like, she's interested. So I feel like probably should grab a game and give it a try.
You know what you should do, Andy, is I think it's on Netflix. Watch Detective Pikachu, because it's actually a good movie, and see how your daughter likes it. I'm serious though. This is a good introduction.
We play with Pokemon characters in Smash Brothers and stuff, and she likes that too. So
it's fun. All right, moment of truth.
Yes,
everybody in the world has been waiting for this. I somehow, in a week after I played 25 hours of Pokemon, have finished to play 21 hours and beat the game of Sports Story.
Oh, wow.
How did I do it?
Oh.
God only knows. Deep breath here. John, I love you. You're tough. You're a tough critic. Like, if I owned a restaurant, I wouldn't want like you to walk through the door as like a food critic. You know, like I wouldn't, like, you're tough.
I know I am honest.
You're honest, but you've also, me and you have different styles of like stuff. Like Violet doesn't bother me, right? That just doesn't bother me. Now bugs where you physically can't do stuff. This is the first game I've really truly encountered things like that. Let's just talk about overall stuff. So it is Sports Story. There's a lot of text in this game. There's a lot of story in this game, and like, the story's not great. It's not a great overarching story from start to finish. The biggest problem I have with this entire game is the sports in Sports Story are not fun. Like, legit, the actual sports are not fun. And they say there's 10 sports in this game. Right? Isn't that what they say? 10?
I mean, it feels like, volleyball, cricket, soccer, golf, baseball.
Was there tennis, I think, right?
Tennis. I don't even know what you said the first few, but they say there's 10.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are like volleyball was one
soccer,
time.
Did you count?
Cricket, baseball.
7.
Anyways,
yeah.
I should have wrote them down. My point is when you have a game called Sports Story, the sports sucked and the story sucks, right? I will honestly say there's a lot of golf in this game, right? I better say 50% or more is golf, and golf is actually good, right? I mean, it's the same as Golf Story, right? So why wouldn't it be good? The golf elements of the game are solid. They always have been solid.
I'll interrupt and say the golf is fun. Rotating, turning to aim the ball is really slow and annoying.
It's super, and it's because it's how defaults and sets you up. I 100% agree with that.
Other than that, I enjoyed the golf.
The golf is fine. The golf is good. It's just that, like, they were forcing this game to be called Sports Story. Like, you'd be in the middle of doing something, then it's just like, let's play cricket, and I'm like, what? Why? Can you score soccer goals? I mean, what do you mean? I'm in the middle of a golf round. I mean, you want me to play soccer? Why?
Let's play cricket with a soccer ball.
Yeah. And I mean, I won't even get into the spoiler, but the last chapter, John, like the 10 rounds, didn't make any sense to me.
No sense.
0 sense.
And then it goes, the game is over. And you're like, what? Can you honestly say, like, I don't need you to tell the story, but do you honestly understand what the story was? Why were you doing all of that?
The whole story is that there's this corporate sports organization called Pure Strike, and they're trying to buy everyone out. Think of, for you golfers out there, Pure Strike is like Live Golf. They're trying to come in and just buy up everything. They want to own all the golf courses. They want to own everything and just be like, and have the best players on their team. That's it. Now, after that, I don't really know what the story is. Like, it just doesn't make sense after that.
You become like a golfer detective and you just start running errands for everybody who asks. And it's like, why? Like, why are you doing all of this? You're doing spy missions and whatever. It's like, this is their problem. Like, let them deal with it. It
doesn't make sense. There was like 2 chapters that were solely just golf, and I actually enjoyed them. Right? Mm-hmm. I know you guys talked about it in the past. Like, it's broken. There was a tennis match where, again, like, you would whiff, the ball hit off the back wall. I hit the ball again, and it went over the net, and I won. there were some things you had to hit, like the top of a garbage can with cricket, that were so. I almost rage quit in the whole cricket thing. That was
Terrible.
just terrible. The other problem is like fetch quests. If you're a fan of fetch quests, this is the game for you. And I'm going to give you an example. The chapter 8, 9 chapters in the game, is called the Tennis Academy. And this was the worst, I don't know what you call it.
Misery. It's
the
misery.
worst video game play session in my entire life. I'm going to give you an example. There's a part towards the end. It says, "Oh, meet so and so outside." So you have to find the person because you don't know. And by the way, the tennis map is massive. And you don't know where anything is. So you find this person finally, and they say, "We're going to play a prank on the older students." We're like, "Sure, great. We're going to throw water balloons at them out of a tennis machine." I said, "Okay, sure." They're like, "Go find water balloons." And I said, "Okay, let me go find some water balloons. I thought you would have them. It was your idea of a prank, but let me find them. And again, this is going to be annoying.
Why do you need to find them? Like,
exactly. But I'm not exaggerating. All it tells you, and if you go to your task, it says find the water balloons. This is how you find the water balloons. You have to go find the felt pens. You find the felt pens, you trade them to a random guy for an expired card. You trade the card for 2-sided pencils. You take the 2-sided pencils and you have to trade them to someone for coconut oil. You take the coconut oil, you have to trade it for the glue. You take the glue, you trade it for the whisk. You take the whisk and you trade it for an old bag of chips. You take the chips, you go trade it to the old guy for a pair of glasses. You take the glasses, you go find the guy in the schoolyard, and you give him the Wi-Fi password. You get the Wi-Fi password, and you go trade it for the bottle cap. I don't know what a bottle cap is, but you take that and you trade it for water balloons. That's what I'm not fucking kidding. That is what you do. And I had to look that up because there's no one.
I was going to say,
on this planet.
I knew you finished that way quicker than I thought you would. I said, they didn't have a guide when I played it.
Yeah, but you tried.
I had no guide.
It must have been 5 hours.
Yeah. Oh, it's ridiculous. I could tell right away that it was going to be a trading chain because you keep seeing these people and they're like, I need this, and you're like, oh, this is going to be one big trading chain.
It's like.
But I will tell you that was the part that glitched because the water balloon people disappeared. They weren't there anymore. So when I got the water balloons,
after all of that,
the water balloon people were gone. They were gone.
It's like, I'm not kidding. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I personally didn't have any show-stopping glitches, right? There was nothing that was like that. Like I said, there was the opportunities you'd hit the ball at the net, and it was like, success! And I'm like, sweet.
A glitch in your favor.
Yeah, I mean, there was things that like stuff would run off the screen. I did have some really weird glitch where I couldn't pause it, John. I couldn't hit the plus sign and nothing would happen. So like, I think I had to like, just like go to the home screen and then like leave the zone and come back into the zone and then I could pause. And I wasn't even trying to pause the game. I just wanted to see like what my task was.
Your menu.
There's definitely some stuff like that. There was nothing, like I said, that was show-stopping for me. At the end of the day, go ahead.
Did you have problems fishing? Because there were times when the fishing would just lock up and it would just be, when you cast your line, you get the little mini game you got to do.
Oh yeah, I remember.
There were times when you cast your line and the mini game never came up. And the famous one that glitched for me and Jesse was trying to catch the dry cod, which wasn't necessary in the main line. I think it's like an optional thing. But when you beat that boss in the fish dungeon, you get a hand. And then from then on, when you
the fucking fish dungeon,
you can only use the hand. You didn't have the option to use any of the bait.
Okay.
And so what happened was when you try to go for the dry cod.
Wait, why would you fish in afterwards? You don't need to.
No, because there is a guy who needs dry cod in the mall. And you cast the line. Right. You cast the line and it just sits there and it locks up. And we never could get it to work. And that was in the patch you got today. They finally fixed that.
I already beat the game by the time the freaking patch came out. That was irrelevant to me.
Yeah. So now you can do it. I'm actually going to go back in and try to get the dry cod and give it to the guy.
God. Listen, here's the thing. At the end of the day, if this game was called like Adventure Quest, like maybe not, but the expectation when you call it Sports Story and it's a sequel to Golf Story, an amazing game, your expectations are high. And again, you call a game Sports Story, and when every sport you play besides golf, 9 out of 10 of them suck, and they're not fun to play, there's
Buggy.
a problem.
Yep.
Right?
None of them were fun.
If you truly enjoy fetch quest type games and sports that don't, mini games essentially that don't work well with a terrible story,
this game's for you.
It's for you. It's for you. It's just, it's so disappointing. I honestly will say, if they just focused and said, we're going to make Golf Story 2, use all of the same worlds that they created, right? But just get rid of all the other sports. You probably could have changed the story a little bit. It would have been a halfway decent game. I think it had potential to be halfway decent. Again, just golf, maybe modify the story a little bit to adapt to just golf. But some of even the golf courses, John, like even the one in like the cave, I'm thinking was kind of cool. You know, you had the one in the rain with all like some of the golf courses were fun and fine. They had the lint style golf course, but
you very rarely just played golf though. I don't know. I
agree.
Yeah. I mean,
out of the 21 hours, you probably
if they made this game completely differently, it probably would have been good. But
yeah.
So would you say I gave it a 3 out of 10 in my review? Is that good, bad? What do you think? What would you give it?
Yeah, like I said, I think you're hard when it comes to, developers not publishing like a full product and stuff. I don't know why I'm so lenient on that. But yeah, I would say you're not far. I would be pretty close to it with like a 4.5. But not higher than, it's down there. Yep.
I mean, it was so hard to explain it to you guys because it's like this game was so anticipated and had such good pedigree that like I could tell you guys couldn't believe that it was this bad. You're like, oh, John, you're just being picky or whatever. But like, do you get like when I said like even if they fixed all the bugs, it's still a bad game? Like, do you understand? Because like
I do.
You're told to do this, then you're told to do this. Nothing makes sense. So in your head, you don't even know what you're doing. You're just like, what do I got to do now? Find water balloons.
The problem. It just doesn't make sense. Like it's.
And what did the water balloons do? Like we were pranking or whatever. But in the end, you had to graduate from the tennis academy and get what they called a senior certificate, right? So what was the whole?
Because you needed a senior certificate to give to a queen. I don't. Why? What did she need to?
Well, as I told Jesse, why couldn't they call the senior certificate the tennis graduation diploma or something like? To give you any
or something that would make sense, that you'd have to give it to the queen. Like I don't understand.
Well, it said it was to impress her.
But maybe, based on, without spoiling, Chapter 9, right? Like, why not have to receive like the tennis like your tennis pro card, and you needed to go get your baseball pro card and your soccer pro card, and then you go to her and you say, "Look, I'm a pro athlete in all 10 sports. I'm now ready to represent the queen."
That'd have been fun.
That would have been made more sense. But instead, you have to give her a desert coin or whatever the fuck it was, and a certificate of seniority.
I don't remember getting the desert coin. I told you I needed that desert token and the senior certificate. I didn't have either. And I wrote Jesse and I said, where do you get the desert token? Is that just when you go to the wildlands? Because I figured that made sense. You literally went to the desert and I did everything.
You the other question.
And I didn't have the desert token. And then I don't know, I stopped playing and I came back the next day and I was looking through my inventory and I had a desert token. I was like, oh, I don't know where it came from. It wasn't there before. It was there then.
Yeah,
just bizarro.
There's a lot of like little glitches. Like you click the button and it doesn't work. And then you like walk away and you walk back and you push it and it works again. But those are the type of things where like you're like, what am I doing wrong? And then you go look somewhere for a half hour to search for something. You know what I'm saying? And then like, no, you just had to hit it twice. Also, was annoying, John, is like when you tried to talk to a random NPC, you had to be in the perfect spot, like right in front of. You couldn't be on the side, couldn't be behind him, couldn't be diagonally. You had to stand directly in front of him, and I'm just like,
it was so touchy. It was so touchy. The other little thing I had, I don't know if it was still there. When you walk into a zone, if you try to turn around and go back, you can't. You have to like go a tile in and then go back out.
Yeah,
that drove me nuts.
You know what else games really grind my gears? Remember in the castle when you went up the stairs?
Yeah.
And it was like, you enter a door.
The door.
It's like, up into a screen, and then when it like transitions to the net's floor, and now the door is like you're coming the other way, you can't hold up anymore. You have to hold up until it changes screen. You can't see a person anymore, and now you have to hold down till they come out the door.
But you can't. Yeah, I mean, just like, and why have the two doors? Just have the door. Why are there two doors? Like, it is so much of them just shooting themselves in the foot. It was insane.
It was.
All right.
Anyways, sports story. I'll give it a 4. I'm a little bit nicer than John, but it wasn't good.
Let's get to the meat.
Andy,
Andy
you
loves
have
the
come
meat.
to the show with a set of topics you want to discuss. Looks like some dad stuff here. I'm going to open the floor to you. What are we talking about on the meat today?
All right. Well, let's start with something really important. Ants on a log. Are you guys a fan of that snack?
I'm not sure I know what
Is it
that is.
raisins on peanut butter on celery? Is that what we're talking about?
That's right. But we've altered things here. We call it krantz on a log. I'm putting craisins instead of raisins.
Those don't exist in my household. But I'm a peanut butter and celery guy. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't like raisins. I like them
I'm not a
in
raisin guy
like
either.
muffins or bread.
Oh, throw it on with that peanut butter, and it's pretty damn good, guys. You got to give it
I
a
have to
I'm not a
try.
try
raisin guy, but I'll do peanut butter celery.
All right.
Is that for the kids or that for you?
Well, it's for me. I've been enjoying it.
When the wife's at work, I'm at home with celery, peanut butter, and raisins.
Well, most of the time she's making it for me too, and it's
So
just
what's
like,
wow? What's
That's adorable.
What's the ideal ratio for raisins? Like, do you literally do like raisin, like they're touching each other?
oh yeah.
The more, the merrier.
I want them all lined up like a pack of ants heading for your snack.
You dip it in the box, and they all stick, and you just pull it out.
Good to go. Yep.
With a lollipop.
But again, I've been doing craisins. I tell you what, I don't know. We throw craisins on our salads all the time, and so we have craisins in the house. And
Are craisins a common item to buy at like the regular market?
I've been getting them at Aldi. I don't know if you guys got Aldi's
we have
in your
Aldis.
area, and we're frequently shopping there for most of our produce these days. And
What section are the craisins in?
they're right by some of the other snack stuff. Yeah, which is odd, but it really like
Drew does this every time.
trail mix. And other
And I'm
stuff.
intrigued.
Let's not get hung up on any one topic for a long time. Where do you buy them?
Where'd you find them?
What price are they, and when do they go on sale?
All right, let's stop it.
All right, let's roll along. I want to ask you guys about belly button lint. Is that a problem you're facing in your lives?
Let me check.
I probably got now. I'm empty
always
right
there.
now.
So is it
But-
is it coming from your articles of clothing, or is it just developing in there?
Well, I'm assuming articles of clothing,
I
but
assume it's clothing.
I
Never
checked.
know.
I'm clearing out the dryer lint. I'm doing most of the laundry here, and I don't understand where it's coming from. It's like 3 or 4 times a day. I'm picking out lint from my belly button. I'm like, what the hell's going on down there?
Are you
He's an innie.
Other family members have this same problem?
No, I'm guessing it's the hair that like is helping collect it. or
Oh, and
something. I'm
it's
not
like
sure.
closing the door on it.
Do you ever pull belly button lint out of your belly button and go, I feel like I just lost some weight, and you throw it away? You're just like, oh my God,
No.
Arian. Hey, you might have lost a few micrograms. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I don't have a scale that's that accurate. I guess.
Could you collect it in a jar and then maybe
Mail it to
in
you
a couple
for next
months
Christmas?
we'll
This is gross.
Secret Santa. Next Secret Santa, Andy P will be sending belly button lint.
That'll be his last Secret Santa.
I'll next time if I'm ever back on the show, I can hold it up a bag and show you guys
That's
what
what I
got so
want.
far. I'll do that for you, Drew.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't want it.
All right, let's roll on to the next one then. Let's talk, and if we can talk for just a few minutes on the tooth fairy.
Tooth fairy.
Yeah, you said your son lost
the
tooth
tooth fairy.
fairy.
The tooth fairy came to my house last night. His name is Sonic.
Sonic the Tooth Fairy.
Sonic the Tooth Fairy. I mean, what do you envision the Tooth Fairy? Is it like a tiny little hot Tinkerbell, or is it just like that's what my mind goes to, right?
Definitely.
Like, would you fuck the Tooth Fairy if you could?
You know I would.
I mean, I need like Ant-Man's costume. I'll be waiting for that sucker under the tooth. Under the pillow, and I'll just like in and out.
Well, that was,
and then
that
I'm
was
like, by the way, you owe me $350.
$350. Oh yeah, what's the tooth fairy bringing you?
So my tooth fairy left $275 the other
$275.
Yeah,
$1.25.
$1.25, man.
Wait, so how much did yours? What do you leave?
Well, we've been varying. It's weird.
Yeah, you change it up every time. I agree.
Change involved. We were doing 5 for the front teeth, the big ones. Okay.
Yeah.
The four front teeth.
So do you weigh them? Is
2
it
for
like
the rest?
Okay, so yeah. So this was a big one. This was on the big top middle. He actually lost both big ones in the last like couple weeks. So he's like missing his 2 front.
So the last, it turns out when my daughter lost her last tooth, well, I guess not. That was the last big tooth that I went in for. She must have had COVID at the time. So she wasn't sleeping well. I thought it was related to like, maybe headaches or something from the tooth.
I thought you were talking about you got COVID from the tooth.
But I stayed up later. I'm thinking I'm gonna wait till she's in bed,
Yeah.
and I'll go in there around 1:00 or something in the morning. Wow. I stayed up late.
That's dedication.
But I hear her get up to get a drink, like right before I was about to go in there. So I'm like, fuck, I gotta wait longer. So I would try to wait like 20 minutes.
I see where this is going.
And then a garbage truck comes by and makes all this noise, and I hear her stirring in the room. So I'm like, fuck, I gotta wait just a little bit longer. I go in there. It's probably almost 2:00 in the morning. And as soon as I open the door, and my fucking doors here are creaky and loud, and she says, "What, Dad?" And I'm like, did you fall out of bed? I heard a noise. and she, she wasn't sleeping well. So I'm like, do you need to go to the bathroom? Do you need medicine or anything? I'm like, fucking gave her some headache medicine. I don't know. I'm a terrible dad, I guess, but she probably needed it because she, I think, had COVID at the time. But so I set an alarm for 4:00 in the morning after that. And I woke up and I'm like, if I go in there, I think this is done deal, right? So I tapped the wife. I said, "Hey, you want to be the tooth fairy at 4:00 in the morning?" I just sent her in there, and she comes back. That was the first time that she had done it, and she's like, "Oh my God, that was terrifying." the floors are creaking and everything, and we're doing the pillow thing. And do you guys both use the pillow?
Oh yeah, you did like the little pillow.
But under her pillow?
Yeah, like a little tooth pillow under the big pillow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were doing that, and my wife went to the gym the next day. She's talking to the people she works with, and everyone's like, "No, you don't do under the. Nobody does that anymore." They said you just put it on the door handle, and I'm like, "All right, well, we're switching this up because I can't do this anymore. We're switching.
That would be way less stressful."
We made up a story. We said that the tooth fairy got hurt in the late 90s, and she hurt a wing under the pillow. So we're like, we're going to do this. And then she lost a tooth a couple of days after this, and we had a day visit, and she was gone, and the tooth fairy came during the day, and I was like, fuck, I can't do it anymore. It's too much stress.
That's incredible. Have you ever forgot?
No, not yet. I mean, she's only
forgot once.
5 so far, I think.
You think trying to tell her, make up a story, try to make up a story the next morning when your poor child is crying and saying the tooth is still there.
If a kid still believes in the tooth fairy, you can make up any random shit.
Oh, we did. We won. We won that game.
Exactly.
Well, good. I just wanted to see where you guys were at with that.
Great story. Straight convo there.
Good. All right, let's move on again. Next topic, the Man Whore podcast. I messaged you guys about this. All right, it's called The Glory Hole Episode. And this aired back in April 7th of 2021, okay? I don't think I have a episode number, but anyway, I guess prior to this episode, he had talked about making a glory hole. And in this episode, he discusses the fact that he found a Reddit ad where a woman was looking to use a glory hole. It was during the pandemic. She had been like 2 years since she had any like sexual interactions. She was living with her parents, and she decides that she's going to try this out. It sounds like they had some type of system set up, like where he was concerned to make he had somebody vet her to make sure she was the proper age, and she had set up, some friends with her location. So if anything would happen to her, God forbid, at least somebody could, get justice or something.
Sick world we're living in.
So this guy, I guess she came there. Well, he came, and and she comes back. She
Round two?
She came back for 3 or 4 times, I think.
Wow.
And eventually they end up having sex through the, well, I don't know if that's through the glory hole or not, but his glory hole was a curtain.
Possible.
Now, I don't think that's real. He had a curtain set up with a hole in it.
That's classy.
That's odd. That's not, I mean, you need some like sheetrock in there.
Yeah. I thought a drywall hole or something like that. I mean, which loses me. Like, I have no interest in it.
I mean, it just blows my mind. This girl, I'm not a female and I don't enjoy sucking dick, but I mean, is sucking dick such a turn on that like you wanna go out and find it? Like, I feel like that's something you would do to your significant other or someone for, giving them a good deed. But just at a random stranger, like, I need to go out there and just.
I think it's more just porn. Like, it doesn't feel like, I don't even, like, this story is so bizarre because it's just sort of a porn thing that doesn't like exist in real life. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, I feel like I'd gotta listen to like this podcast. Like, they're describing this in detail.
Well, the woman ends up coming on the podcast. Okay. And
incredible.
She stays like hidden behind the curtain for like majority of the podcast. And then they do a reveal what they look like. So they're like talking like, oh, you could be an ugly, guy. Like my friend saw your picture and he says you're ugly. No. This is the woman talking about the host or whatever. But, and he's like, well, you could be unattractive too, but like, I want you to be honest with me if you think I'm ugly or whatever. And it's very funny. I highly recommend listening to that one. At least I don't know if I'd go back for more because there's it's some weird shit for sure. But,
it's just, wow.
This guy's,
we're after dark.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, like, I was telling my wife earlier that you normally are like in bed by 9:30 or something. She says, "Oh, so is this Dad's barely after dark?" Or whatever.
Oh, don't drag me down with that.
But
so, where do you go to buy a glory hole?
Well, I mean, he just got
asking for a friend.
Had a hole in it. I don't know.
A curtain. I mean, like, where was this? Did they rent a hotel room and set up a curtain?
It sounds like it was just on the other side of it, and like she came to his apartment and he had like directions through this weird alleyway and stuff or back behind the building, side door entrance. And I don't know, like John you were questioning if this is legit. If you listen to it, I think it definitely sounds legit, but it also sounds like this guy, this host is maybe a comedian on like his normal job. And he's got this, he's not working. This podcast is his job.
I feel like comedians routinely make up stories on the fly because they have to be funny and they usually have to be funny on the spot and they will just make up shit out of nowhere because it just doesn't sound right. But maybe it is. I'm not going to say.
Well, it sounds like this guy's into swinging and all kinds of weird sex shit. So I don't know.
Or maybe they paid her too behind the scenes. You never know. Still sounds incredible story. I mean, I'm glad you just happened to come across this podcast. I mean,
the funniest thing is, guys, my wife told me about this podcast, and they have a Discord for this podcast, I guess, and she's a member on the Discord.
Oh my God!
And she says it's for the dick jokes. I'm like, I don't know if I should be concerned. I don't know.
You better be concerned. She's not the one.
But I'm fairly certain on that.
You know how you find out is you set up a glory hole tomorrow and see what happens.
If you find out she lost her job 3 weeks ago, you're in trouble.
Oh my!
Good stuff. Good stuff, Andy.
Glorious story.
Excellent.
You have anything else for us? What do you got?
Well, I was asking if your wives, maybe I should have led with this before that one, if the wives ever listened to the show.
Or God, no,
friends.
not here. No.
I mean, you've done enough now that I feel like it would get lost in the ether, and they're just like, well, I'm not going to sit through all this shit to find out what he said. But early on, did they?
No.
I don't think so.
Even when I did like a more reasonable like Disney podcast, she didn't listen.
I don't know if I knew about that.
What? I did a Disney podcast for years before this. The Disney guys uncensored. See the theme in uncensored, but no, it was
it never felt uncensored.
It never did. It never did. You know what it was? It was uncensored in a way that we would say things other people wouldn't say about Disney.
Ooh.
It wasn't necessarily the shits and futs and where to find glory holes in Disney, but it was more of the
was there any on the ship?
Popular. What's that?
So was there any on that Disney cruise?
if there were, I would have known. No, but no, my family does not listen. No, what about you, John?
Generally, no. I used to post them on Facebook when I did them, and I think I had some people maybe listen for a little bit or so. But I don't have any family members or people. I have friends from my gaming group that listen. So hey, Alex. Yeah, like generally no, and I'm okay with it. Like I'm totally fine with that. That's great. There's some things I say on here that I'm like, I hope some people from work don't listen, but maybe they do, and they just don't say anything because they know if they do that. I'll
it makes it's funny though. It makes you wonder, like, who are the hundreds of people that fucking listen? Like, who are they?
Yeah,
if it's not people we know.
It's Andy 400 times.
Well, it might be Kuzi. He's gone back and re-listened to everything from the beginning.
Yeah,
he does those historical things.
He's pulling all that stuff, and I'm like, man, this guy's either got a memory of.
I think he drives a lot for his job, so we're just so good. He wants to re-listen to us.
We'll do those shows with him, and he'll start going through like historical. I listen to all. I hope he's not listening to this right now.
Oh, he will.
I listened to the last 50 episodes, and he goes into detail of like everything we said. And you know what goes through my head? And again, I hope he's not listening right now.
He is.
Like, how fucking crazy is Kuz? Like, what is he doing listening to us? Like, what is going on here? I'm worried for him.
Listen, I love it. I love the fact that he does it. He's a great human being.
I'm sorry that I couldn't bring that to you guys today. So
no, it's dedication. It's dedication.
Did you ever see the movie Misery?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's gonna be Kuz.
I have not seen that one.
Drew, come on. Come on.
John.
Yeah, but my wife said she will listen to this. She said if I tell her not to, she'll give me a buffer of a week or something. But she's going to listen.
She's listening. She's listening to this.
She's planning.
What do we have to say then? I mean, I just
Mrs. P. When I said you might have quit your job 3 weeks ago, and I was just joking. You are upstanding. I didn't mean that. By the way, this is Drew talking. If you want to blame anybody, blame me.
Does
Drew.
she know of your legacy within the Dads After Dark community? She must be aware of it.
She helped film that video.
I mean, she helped me with the Hershey Kiss stuff. I don't know.
The Hershey Kiss stuff. I forgot about the Hershey Kiss stuff.
The Stuffies video.
The pumpkin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? We actually had a question in the Gauntlet about did you put a glory hole on the pumpkin? But I think it didn't make the final cut.
Oh no, I've never done that. No,
not yet. But thanks for the idea.
We had to cut it to 10.
I mean, Rabbit Peach did have a pretty mouth.
All right, guys. Let's talk real quick about what we've been watching, because it's been a while. And Drew, you and I like to do these like every few episodes now.
Yeah.
What have you been watching this week?
All right, I'll be quick. I watched a movie based off your feedback called The Menu, and I'm gonna make this super sweet without spoiling it. It's just a movie. Just go watch it. You watch it with your wife or whatever. It's just a movie. It's called The Menu. It has a lot of famous actors in it. It's about this super high end. Like, it doesn't ever say, John, I don't think how much it costs, but my guess would be like 6 figures to go to this one night meal. It's like a whole day. What does it say? It's a 6.5 hour dinner or something. It's a 6.5 hour dinner. It's on this private island. You take this private yacht to this island, and it's only room for like, I don't know, maybe 10 to 12, 15 people. So it's very small and intimate. And it's like this, Michelin star chef. And it's this whole course that's designed over 6 hours that you eat. And I'm going to leave it there and say it gets fucked up. It gets crazy. It gets fucked up.
It's wonderful.
That's it. That's all you can say, because anything else is like a spoiler. And hopefully that was enough to just be like, I'm intrigued. Like, what is?
I watched the trailer for it after John spoke about it last week or whatever.
You got to watch it.
And I feel like the trailer, gave up a little bit of it, but.
Oh, did it? I didn't ever watch the trailer. I went in cold, just going cold.
Where the woman who plays Peach is the star of the movie.
I saw that she was in there too.
Yeah, she's great.
Really quick, I watched all of Willow on Disney Plus. I was a fan of the old school movie. Whoa! I did watch the old movie first, and then I watched the show. It's not great, but what they did really well was I feel like they knew it was Willow, and they made it like really artsy and cool. Like, for example, like when they're fighting, they'll play like AC/DC rather than like just normal like battle music. So they tried to like be artsy with that type of stuff in a really fun, unique way. And I will say, like, the visuals looked awesome, and they did try to step out of the box rather than just make it another Game of Thrones-ish type magical quest show. They tried to be different, which I really respected them for that. So it was fun. I also want to talk about a game show I've been watching on Netflix called Awake. Has anyone heard of this show?
I haven't even heard of it.
It's stupid, but it's fun to watch. So it's a game show. There's like 6 contestants every episode, one winner. And the idea is you have to stay awake for 24 hours, counting quarters. And you have to, listen, this is the game show. You count quarters and see how many you can count. Like, people are counting like $30,000 in quarters. 24 hours straight, you can't sleep. And after the 24 hours are over, that's when the game show starts. So you're on zero sleep. And it's Mario Party style mini games where you have to then do these or it's kind of like minute to win it type mini games where you have to do these little games because like it's supposed to be like, since your brain isn't functioning right, their games specifically meant that it's going to be difficult for you to complete. And someone goes home after each little mini game. And then it all ties back into how much money you counted. And you have to, to win the $1 million, you had to, whatever your guess was, has to be within like $250 of what you actually counted.
So you could win the game and still get nothing. I
think, I don't know what the word they call it, but you could always leave at like certain points. Like, I quit, I walk away, and they're going to give you like $5,000. Or you might, the further you make it, the more they kind of offer you to quit. But yeah, it's give it a go. It's like, like a 45-minute episode. Every episode's unique.
Is it kid friendly?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you can watch it with the whole family. Yep, called Awake. It's on Netflix.
If the people are falling asleep, do they have somebody waking them up, or
I don't know. There was one episode, 2 or 3 people like quit. Like, the guy's like, I had like 8 energy drinks and 5 coffees, and he's like, and the doctor's like, you gotta go to the hospital, buddy. It's something different. It's something different. The last thing I'm just going to mention is I'm watching Kaleidoscope on Netflix. I don't know if you guys heard of this. I have 1 episode left. It's, if you've everyone seen Ocean 11. It's Ocean 11, but Netflix tried to be Netflix and do this unique thing where you can watch the show in any episode order. There's no right or wrong episode order. The whole idea is everyone watches the last episode 8, last, and it's the heist. So the last episode is the heist, which means that they're robbing something, and all other 7 episodes are different. Like, one of them's like 20 years before the heist. One of them's 6 months after the heist. One of them's 5 hours before the heist. 12 weeks before the heist. 3 days after the heist. And it's just, it doesn't matter what order you watch them in. And I think every person's Netflix account gets them shuffled differently. So like, you could watch them and they're all just called a color. So like, instead of episode 1, 2, 3, or 4, it's just yellow, black, green, blue, red. You watch. It's fun. I mean, it's Ocean's 11 essentially. Where you learn about the characters and their backstory and why they're doing the heist and what it means for them. And it's different. It's, I don't know. I have 1 episode left, and there was something that happened in the last episode that really pissed me off. But it was like, that's it. That's kind of stupid.
Were you guys Arrested Development fans?
I was not.
Oh yeah, not the last season, but like the one that came years later. But yeah, the original show.
The originals on Fox were good, yeah. But
Yeah.
when they first came to Netflix, they tried to do the fourth season like that, where it didn't matter which episode you watched, and
It was so bizarre.
then they did a re-edit which maybe was a little bit better. I don't know. There was moments that was good. Like it's all on Netflix. Go back, Drew, and watch the first 3 seasons. They're fantastic.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at those. That's my shows.
All right. I'll go. 3 I've been watching. First of all, The Last of Us. This is easily the best show that's going to be of the year. It's almost a perfect reproduction of the game.
Really?
We didn't play the game.
I agree. I'm with John. Let me jump in there too.
Yeah.
I only watched the first episode. I will be transparent.
Yeah, if you've played the game, it just follows it so well, but it's so enjoyable to watch. It's not like you watch it and you go, I know what happens, and although I do. But it's so well done. I still feel like the game is better than the show, and I watch the same sequences in the game. I'm like, oh, I like that better. But absolutely loving it. And we canceled HBO Max this week, but I was like, no, we renewed it.
No.
I said, we'll cancel it after we finish the show because spoilers are crazy. And they're already saying tonight's episode was a 10 out of 10 on IGN. So I'm like,
so my only problem with the show is, like you said, I feel like you have to have played the game to know it, because it's very confusing. At least again, only watched this episode. Like, there was a lot going on. They didn't really explain like these different federations and the rebels. Like I was like, who are these people? And like they kept showing new people and more people and more. And I'm like, I still don't know who the last person was I saw. I just don't think they did a good job editing.
I've watched every episode twice. The Fireflies you don't know much about. Yeah, some of that gets a little crazy. I didn't even understand it fully when I played the game. But the Fireflies are the rebels. And
I think season or episode 2 like clears that up a little bit.
Okay, so maybe it does. Like I said, I've only watched one.
Play through it, watch it again. They do go over it.
The game is phenomenal, though. I know you don't have the means to play that yet. You don't cheat. Yeah. Somebody asked if I cheat. Whatever.
the best story in gaming. It really is. It's the best story in gaming.
The budget that they have, the way that they're making, the post-apocalyptic world look is just second to none. I think, I was a big fan of The Walking Dead, but they definitely did not put in the care that they seem to be putting in with this show, which is a real treat, I think.
Yep. That's just absolute must watch, beginning to end. We watched Wednesday. I hadn't watched Wednesday. I saw the dance on TikTok for weeks and enjoyed it, and I really wanted to watch it. So we finally started watching Wednesday. What's her name? Jenny Ortega, who plays Wednesday. She's brilliant.
Great. She really is.
And Fred Armisen is Uncle Fester. Beautiful. I can't say I love the whole show. It's like a detective mystery show, so it's kind of like, it doesn't feel like it's not an Addams Family show, that's for sure. It's mostly about Wednesday. They do bring in members of her family, but it's not an Addams Family show. And she's doing a detective mystery, and it's really about the character Wednesday, and she's like brilliant at everything, and she's dark and she's funny and whatever. But I'm not gonna say it's the greatest show, because it's like, okay, this weird detective mystery is involved and it seems kind of randomish or whatever, but she's enjoyable. There's moments of the show that are kind of funny and enjoyable, so it's been a good show. But and then we saw the dance, and weird that on TikTok it's a totally different song. I knew that, but like, it was so weird. But really good moments in the show. So I've enjoyed it. We have one more episode, so we haven't seen the finale yet.
Is that family friendly?
Yeah, it might be 7. She might be a little scared at certain points.
Yeah,
but I for the most part, it's not inappropriate. But there's deaths and stuff like that could be a little gruesome.
Okay.
Yeah, like my kids, it's like they could probably watch it. I don't know how interested they'd be, but they're 15. Basically 15, 13, 12. So
I know kids that age that have watched it, but I guess it's really up to you guys. But I'd say maybe watch an episode. I think the first episode has enough of it to see the feel of it and see if it's too much.
There's definitely no bad language, and I think you don't see the violence,
or anything like
see
that.
Somebody who died or something. So it just depends on your kids, but definitely a little older. Probably not your kids. And the last show I have to talk about, Velma.
This is on my list as well, and I
This-
have something to bring to this.
I am curious about what your opinion is, because this has been a very divisive show. And I will be honest, I didn't know it was coming out. And the only reason I watched it was because I saw the internet just unload its hatred of it on the show. And I was like, okay, I need to watch this show, because I will say this. I'm a huge Mindy Kaling fan. She was amazing on The Office.
Yes.
I like that Mindy Kaling show. I can't remember the name of it. Was it the Mindy Kaling show? I can't remember what she played. Like she was in a doctor's office. I think she's hilarious. I love Mindy Kaling. So the Velma is not a Scooby-Doo show, but it's clearly based on Velma. And so it's like funny. And just like with Wednesday, right? They take one character and they focus around it. But this show has more of the Scooby characters in it. But it is not like Scooby-Doo like you know it. The characters are very different.
No,
So
it is
Daphne,
not.
yeah, Daphne's in it. Fred is in it. Shaggy's technically in it. Goes by his real name. But it's not the Scooby-Dooby show, right? Scooby-Doo. It's not the Scooby-Doo show. And in it, Velma is... Velma is like the iconic character that Velma has become, where over the years we have people love Velma, but she's like the loser on the show. And so this show just brings that to the forefront. And it's like Velma despises that Daphne is so popular. And Velma is sort of a gay questioning character. And Shaggy is not dumb. Shaggy is smart in this show, and Fred is a douchebag. So it's just sort of this alternate universe thing, but it focuses around Velma. And there was so much hatred brought on this show, and all I can think of is like, oh, it's a female lead character. That's why. I will say this: the first 5 minutes of the show, Velma is a rancid character. Like, it was like, wow, this is bad. Like, what is going on? She's just like, she's got an attitude problem, and she's just like, yeah, like a brat child. But if you get through the first 5 to 10 minutes, she sort of settles down, and then just like Wednesday, it becomes like a detective mystery show. I love how the characters are changed. I love that like Fred's sort of a douchebag, but you can see he's got like sort of a redemption arc going on. He's also accused of murder right now. And that Shaggy is this like smarter analytical character. But yeah, you can't go in thinking it's Scooby-Doo. And it's really like, it's kind of like SNL. Some people don't find SNL funny at all, and some people find it hilarious. And with this, I am not into adult cartoons. Like Archer comes to mind, like cartoons like that are for adult audiences. And I can't say this is my favorite show I've ever seen, but I like watched it one day while I was working, and it had its funny moments. It was fine. It's not going to win awards or anything like that. It certainly was not as bad as everyone was making it out to be. There are people saying the show was racist and all this. It was just bizarro. But I'm curious, Andy, what you thought of this show, because maybe you did hate it.
Well,
I'm curious.
I fell asleep. We actually were watching the first episode last night, and I fell asleep during it. But what happened was, my daughter rather, loved Scooby-Doo, and I saw Velma on there, and I was like, oh, well, this looks fun. There's a new Velma show, and they don't show the rating right there. So I was like, well, my wife's like, whoa, this is HBO. Like, you think this is going to be all right? I was like, well, it's the same, the Sesame Street's on HBO. It doesn't mean like we got Scooby-Doo movies and everything else is on there. So yeah, I think it's just Warner Brothers. It's fine.
Oh my God.
I was like, all right, we'll watch the trailer. And it went from a Scooby-Doo to a Scooby-Don't. In the trailer, you see somebody's heads chopped off, and she's like, this is my story, bitch. She said that. And I'm like, oh, okay, you were right. And she was like, I told you. And she's like, I was going to say, it's Mindy Kaling. And I was like, well, if you would have led with Mindy Kaling, I probably would have figured out that this probably wasn't for our daughter to watch. But yeah,
I mean, literally, Drew, the first scene takes place in a girl's locker room.
Yes, I was going to go there.
And I sent you a picture of it. You see the girls' butts, you see full frontal, and there's bit and words and all that jazz. Like, it's like, yeah, right away.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, you were right, honey. Sorry.
Are you going to watch it like yourself, or you don't care because it's Scooby-Doo? You're not like.
My daughter, or my wife, thought the episode was really stupid. She stayed awake through it, but I fell asleep. I will probably go back and at least watch the rest of the first one and see what I think.
Give it a shot, and just like it's not Scooby Doo. You just got to get it out of your mind. It's just a whole different retelling. And they really go into like women's issues. Like she starts conflicting herself because she's attracted to Fred, but she loves Daphne. So if like from that perspective, it goes in places like that are very interesting that we don't usually see. But it's like, I think a lot of the hatred is I'm expecting Scooby-Doo. And it's like, this ain't Scooby-Doo.
Is Scooby-Doo going to appear?
There is no Scooby-Doo in I think there's only 4 episodes and they're going to drop another 4 at some point. Yeah, but I
think I know who Shaggy is. I don't think that they revealed that in the first episode, maybe?
No, he goes by his own real name. He doesn't go by Shaggy.
But I think I know which character you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see he's wearing a green shirt. But like I said, don't go into it thinking Scooby-Doo. It's just go into it that this is Velma. That's it.
Okay.
And you'll find it. You might find some humor. You might not like it. It's certainly not the greatest, but that's hilarious, though. I got to tell my wife that story.
Anything else?
You can keep going. I'm done. I'm done at Velma, so you can continue on with yours.
I watched the first episode of That 90s Show. Did you guys watch that at all?
I did not.
I never liked that show, so no.
I liked That 70s Show, and I saw that some of the characters were coming back. Red and Kitty but I'm watching it, and Eric and Donna, I guess, got married. They have a kid that's going to stay with the grandparents for 2 weeks of the summer or something. And I guess then they're taken off, and it's basically a new set of kids, and some of which are the other kids like Kelso and I can't think of some of the names here, but anyway, I don't think it's for me. I think that, there was funny moments, but I think that's for this age of kids to watch instead. So I'm going to step away from that. The other thing I watched recently was The White Lotus. I watched that season 1 and season 2.
Yes.
I wouldn't necessarily say that I thought that they were great shows.
Agreed.
I was entertained. Season 1 ending was fantastic.
My wife loves them.
And I guess I enjoyed the ending in season 2 as well. But I do not care for the MILF lady from the American Pie movies.
She is the weakest part of it. Like, she's iconic, but I found her to be the most annoying character in both seasons.
I did enjoy, some of season 2 with her though. So there was some good moments with her.
There was a lot of her, yeah.
Do you watch SNL, Andy?
I do. I did see Black Lotus.
I need to watch that still.
I did not see last night's episode yet, if there was a new one.
Well, the Aubrey Plaza whole episode is so good.
I was surprised she wasn't in that skit. That was bizarre.
She was the Spanish lady, or the angry lady.
Oh.
Was she Spanish? Would you say she was like Hispanic or she was Italian? I couldn't really tell. I think she's supposed to be like Puerto Rican or whatever. But she's the one who's like yelling at the end. Remember at the end when she like hits the guy and Keenan's like, "That's the Black Lotus, bitch," or something like that. That's Aubrey Plaza. Watch it again. That's Aubrey Plaza. Yeah. I think she just wanted to play the exact opposite character.
Okay.
By the way, if you haven't seen the Miss America skit with Aubrey Plaza, oh my God, so good. I'll leave it at that. By the way, Pedro Pascal is on SNL next week.
Oh, nice.
He's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, I watch SNL, and we started Better Call Saul season 5.
Nice.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. So
nice. It's a good one.
Sweet.
Daredevil. Did you guys ever watch that?
I love Daredevil.
No.
I started rewatching. Is that still on Netflix, or is it only on Disney Plus now?
The new season comes out, I think, in 2024.
Yeah.
It'll be on Disney Plus.
I'm worried about that.
Yeah, it'll be a ways, but the whole I think they did 3 seasons of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great. I love the Daredevil.
Those are on Disney Plus now, but you have to if you have like the age restriction set on there, you have to go and change your setting to get access to that. The Punishers.
Oh yeah, I know how to do that. Yeah,
the Punisher one is pretty violent. Yeah, they're not kid shows, that's for sure. Yeah,
started rewatching that. Love Daredevil, but
sweet.
That's about it for TV.
Well, we've got some questions, and we've got a few specifically for you that we can go through. So let's go right to it.
Okay.
First question is from Coos.
I saw
Said,
this.
I am more excited than I should be to hear that the Ninformant is on the show. What has been your favorite mayhem or bounty that you competed in? What's the best game you've purchased with all of your mayhem winnings? Or do you hoard it up? Do we have enough questions here, Coos? Or do you hoard it all up in a little vault just waiting to purchase the next big Mario game? What's your favorite porn genre? Physical or digital games? Plushies or stuffies? Jesus Christ, Coos. And this is the first of 2 questions.
Listen, I allow it.
All right, let's run through real quick.
Right. First things
What
first.
is your favorite mayhem or bounty that you competed in?
All right. The first actual like mayhem that I would say would be the N64 Mario Kart. I really enjoyed that one.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
But if we go to with some of the physical stuff, the pumpkin stuff, of course, I'm
Yeah.
a fan of that. Still feel a little salty about that last one. But it is what it is. I thought I had it in the can with the Rabid Peach for sure.
That was a great pumpkin.
It was a great pumpkin.
It's like,
No,
it's
don't be
timely.
ashamed.
Yeah, but you won the pumpkin bounty.
That is true. And I mean, if you can up the graphics and give us an HD version next year, maybe you'll get over the top.
Maybe.
What was the best game you purchased with your Mayhem winnings? Do you even know? Like,
I would say I am more physical to go with his other question, so I do stockpile a lot of that stuff. I do have a wish list. There's occasionally if there's something, but most of that probably is just going towards the expansion pack renewal.
oh,
So-
okay.
And I've got the family membership, so it just helps take care of all that.
Okay.
Nice.
What's your favorite porn genre? This should have been a gauntlet question.
I know.
Gauntlet question 11. What is your favorite porn genre?
Like, can I plead the fifth?
Yeah, Mrs. P. Skip ahead like 30 seconds.
Unless you really want to know.
Do you want it? We can skip. We could.
We'll
you know
skip
what?
it.
Tell us after we finish recording.
I was thinking maybe I'd reply to his question on the Discord.
Ooh, I like that.
And if she really wants to know, she can join the Discord.
All right,
And read an Apple review.
Yeah.
Please. Okay, Andy does not
He doesn't
watch
watch-
porn.
You just
Never.
watch porn.
I
Yeah,
I'm,
does
I'm-
not.
I'm 40 years old. I've seen some porn, but do
Talking
I
about
watch
the guy
it
that's-
now?
Guy that stays at home all day doesn't watch porn. Okay.
All right,
I-
physical or digital? I think you've already said you are physical. Is
With
the
porn.
term plushy or stuffy, or do you have a
I
different
didn't
term?
know what the hell that meant.
Like an
What do you
animal
call it?
that's stuffed that you give to your kid. Yeah.
I call them plushies.
There we go, plushies. All
I
right.
didn't
It's a
know if
plushie
I didn't
if
know
it's
if a
a
stuffy
Nintendo
was
plushie.
something else.
I just want to
It's a difference.
I
Okay.
want to point out that every time Andy had to decide between John or Drew tonight, he picked Drew.
Listen,
Oh man,
I'm going to remember this, Andy, especially when we
Natural.
judge.
I didn't know
You-
that was
you
the
wanna
thing.
win
to do,
Halloween?
guys.
You want to win Halloween Mayhem next year? No fucking way, buddy. You ain't winning
Listen.
next year, man.
He's winning.
Can we have just a pumpkin competition?
No
Cut
fucking
out
way.
all this other shit.
All right, next question comes from Hambone. Is the Ninformant is the Ninformant a cheater or a Nintendo only guy?
I guess
And
I'm a
then-
cheater.
Let's
You're a
get that
cheater.
answer first. Yeah, you play PS5. So what do you have? PS5, PS4?
I have a
PS5.
PS5. I had a PS4. I traded it in right before the PS. Well, I didn't trade it in. I sold it on Facebook Marketplace right before the PS5 came out, and I had one secured, so I knew I was getting it. So I've got that. I've got the Oculus 2. I have an Xbox One S. I'm not planning to get the newer Xbox. I think I'm done. I think Game Pass is great and everything, but it's too much. I don't recommend owning all three.
It's too
Um,
much.
When there's games.
The PlayStation, I do think has a lot of great first party games to play, but I spend most of my time on Nintendo.
I
Nintendo
will
is
recommend PS Plus Extra if you ever throw in that extra
Oh,
40
God.
a
Here
year.
we go.
I mean, so many great games on that, man.
Is it free?
$3 and change a month. All right. Fuck, marry, kill. Mrs. P, if you can forward 15 seconds. Peach, Daisy, Rosalina.
Rosalina.
I'm gonna probably have to kill Daisy.
Woo.
Yeah, I agree with that. I wish there was Pauline in this one.
I'm gonna fuck Rosalina and marry Peach.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Well, royalty,
that's
man.
the right play. That's the right play.
She's up in the galaxy. I don't know what the hell's going on with those little
aliens
friends of hers.
I'd marry Daisy. She seems fun.
Does she now? Peach makes such a good strawberry cake and stuff.
Peach and Rosalina are so bland.
If I could fuck them all, I would do that.
I like that.
But
same.
But Daisy sounds like she could be a little annoying. Like Daisy, she says she might have. She might.
Yeah, when Daisy wears some of those sports outfits, it's like new ball game.
Yeah.
All right. Neoprime 33 writes, what is your favorite Club Nintendo or My Nintendo reward that you owned? Is there one you wish you could have gotten your hands on? Also, what do you want your kid to try for the first time next on the Snack Network?
Ooh.
All right, let's start. What is your favorite Club Nintendo reward that you own?
He's getting it. Show and tell.
Yeah, he's getting it.
I've got a couple here. I don't know what the favorite is, but these are some of my favorites from back from Club Nintendo, as well as
what is that? Like a 3DS case?
Little 3D or 2DS, 3DS cases.
Mario hat, Luigi hat.
I've got the pins. I don't know if you guys
big
got
Goomba pin. Binder, the name of JD.
If you can move the box, there's different items in there, but it's just all like 8-bit pins.
I don't remember that one.
I got the little.
I have that guy too. I like the little statue.
Oh, that's nice.
That's my favorite. You don't have that, John?
Yeah. I don't have that. I never even seen that before.
What? I've got the Zelda 3DS pouch.
That is nice.
I missed out on I think there was a Luigi's Mansion figure that I didn't get that.
I got the Luigi's Mansion figurine.
I don't have that one either.
That is my favorite one. That was the first one. In fact, I didn't know what all the reward things were for when you got the games and I had like the club reward thing.
Yeah.
And somebody told me what it was. And I went through like my massive collection, entering every one of them in. And I had enough points plus a lot more to get that Luigi's Mansion. So that's why I got onto it.
That made it so much more fun when you had the disc and you had to get the code and then go put it in.
When they were canceling those, when they were ending the Club Nintendo, I went to GameStop and I said, "Hey, do you care if I take these from the used games?" And I fucking plugged them all in. You had to answer survey questions with them, though. So just generic answers. But I cleaned up and got all kinds of extra rewards from that. But I did get my hands on the pins. I don't know if you guys managed to get those, but it was a pain in the ass. But that's my favorite My Nintendo reward, I guess. So
those are nice. I missed the first set of pins and I bought them off Coos.
Wow.
Nice. Yeah. Next question is
the Snack Network thing there.
Oh yeah.
She wants to try some other Dorito flavors. I don't know if there's anything that I want her to try. Anytime I'm at the store, if there's something that interests me, I kind of am buying things and setting them aside to try to do Snack Network videos. But it's tough because you're like, oh, like I want the snack. I want to eat something, but we haven't tried that yet. We have to save that for a video. Or do we want to go get our shirts on and cut this video right now? And so it's a pain. But I try to help out my friend Dave Moore and the Snack Network whenever I can there.
Nice.
Spicy nacho is the best Dorito flavor, by the way.
I think that is her current favorite.
Yes. It's like regular Dorito, just hotter.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. Definitely not lousy Cool Ranch.
My wife loves the Cool Ranch.
Andy, take a look at my partner, Drew. This is what fading Drew looks like. This is exactly what it looks like when he is done. He's so done right now.
I'm so done. You're so.
This is probably turned into a long episode. Sorry about it.
That's okay. It's all Drew's fault anyway.
Probably.
All right. Got a question from XLongX, your soccer partner, Kurt. What is with the multiple questions? Suddenly everyone has 8 questions. What are a couple of video game moments that you will always remember? For example, I owned the Wii and loved it. Skipped the whole Wii U shit, and I hadn't been gaming much when I finally got the Switch. So when I was playing through Mario Odyssey, I remember just being blown away, specifically facing the boss in New Donk City. Oh yeah. Hadn't seen anything like it in video game at the time for me. What are your favorite video game moments? I can start because I wrote them down. I'll do them in chronological order. This is great. When I was a kid, I went to Nobody Beats the Wiz, and I was watching the TV, and I thought I was watching golf. Drew, you can relate. I thought I was watching golf. And after about a minute, I look over, and somebody has a controller. Somebody was playing the golf game, believe it or not, on the Philips CDI, and it was so realistic to me. I thought I was watching actual golf. And that was because they were imitating the NBC graphics and music and all that. And I had never seen that in my life at that time. So I've always had the dream of getting a CDI and getting that golf game one day so I can finally play it. But that's still fucking sucks.
Not gonna lie.
I mean, like, yeah, they imitated the whole broadcast. It was crazy. Seeing Mario 64 for the first time, I was in college. And the guys in the dorm next to me got the Nintendo 64. And I was watching them play. And I was just like, holy shit. Like, I was blown away by it. I'll never forget that.
That was going to be one of mine too. I saw that at like a Sears display, and Sears didn't have a lot of games, but they, for whatever reason, had Mario 64 set up. And I remember going there and being like, oh my God, this is the best things are ever going to be. Like, look at this. This looks amazing. And so excited.
We played 2D Mario for so long up to that point. And it was like, well, what is this? The daycare scene in Zombie U. If you've played Zombie U, you know what I'm talking about. But there's a scene where you go into a daycare, and it was still the fucking scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I love it. I absolutely love that daycare scene. The moment you walk in there and realize where you are, it is dread personified. The scariest thing I've ever done in gaming. I'll never forget it. The night I took the Switch home, I picked it up at GameStop at midnight. I was kind of nervous. I thought I was going to get robbed. Like, when I left the store, I left the store and I was like hurriedly walking to my car, and I had some woman try to scam me. She needed a ride to the gas station or something like that. And I was like, nope. And I left. And then I actually Googled it later, and it is a scam. So I was like, oh shit, man, I almost got freaking robbed. Got home, opened it up. And I mean, after so many years of playing that 3DS, to see that screen so crisp, I was just like, wow. And I played I Am Setsuna for like a little bit and was like, wow, the graphics that I now have in my hand, it was incredible. And then because I just have to, the end of Life is Strange episode 3, one of the most shocking things I've seen in a game. I'll leave it there because Drew gets mad at me. That's it.
You didn't go for Breath of the Wild first with that?
No, I bought it physical and I had to pick it up at Best Buy the next day. Okay. So I played a couple digital games and that was it. But yeah, those are 5 moments right there. All right. I gave you guys time. Let's hear it.
Good, Andy.
I was going to, one of my other ones more recently would have been Astro's Rescue Mission. That game, VR, blew me away.
Wow.
It's like Mario. It had the Mario 64 like moment. It was the same as that. I think that's the only thing that I've seen since then that was at that same caliber. Beat Saber is a close second. I think I came down when I first played that, and I was like, Lindsay, you got to play this game. It's just so much fun. I was so excited from how awesome it was.
And a good workout.
Yeah.
I love Astrobot on PS5, by the way, too. That's like, it
that
introduces a controller. It's wild.
Have you played the VR version or not?
I know one day I would like to get a VR set up and everything, but no, I haven't yet.
It is so cool. The boss battles and everything are just they do so many cool things with the controller in that game too. That the PS5, Astro's is it Playroom for that?
Yes, I think it's the Playroom.
that was cool, but it was like, oh yeah, is there going to be a VR version of this as well? Like it's not at the same level as the VR.
Yeah, I mean that one's about introducing the controller, and it's like that controller on the PS5 is just fucking wild. What a great job! All right, Drew, do you got one before you?
Sure. I mean, I've read this a million times, but the time in The Witcher when I went to the brothel and I banged everybody in there was fantastic. But on a more serious note, I guess I would have to say two other ones we'll talk about. We talked about Mario and Zelda. You mentioned N64. I agree, but I think even more. I mean, sorry, Mario 64. But even more so was, I think, after that was Mario Sunshine, because I think it perfected, in a weird way, what Mario 64 did. Right now, it had these updated, vibrant graphics and colors and all of that, and then the whole idea with the water and this tropical island, and now we're out of this Mushroom Kingdom world, and we're in this cool new world to explore. So that was awesome. And another very similar side note from the Zelda point of view series would be Wind Waker. That first time you can kind of just roam the open ocean freely, and it's almost like wherever you want to go. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do next? Type thing. I'd say those few. From a realistic point of view, I'm sure I could have a top 5, John, if I thought about it. But
we should do it. We should do best gaming moments, but we just gave it away. So,
do you like Sunshine more than 64?
That's a tough question.
These days, I do.
I mean,
I think they both hold their own. Yeah, they're both different. But
the Switch version, the All Stars, the game Sunshine looks great in there.
Yeah, yep. I've always been a huge fan of Sunshine. So,
but
I would have told you I like Mario 64 better, but the GameCube, the Sunshine just aged a lot better. It's a lot more playable now.
Agreed. Like if they remade Mario 64, I think Mario 64 is better games, levels and stuff.
Yeah. And Miyamoto,
they never will. There's just they've put that game out so many times now that no one wants to keep playing it forever.
Yeah. All the new ones are better. So, all right. Last question from Coos again. Coos, we gotta charge you. Dear Drew, I realize you're a Nintendo only guy, and I respect that more than you'll ever know. However,
I know.
With the recent praise of The Last of Us show, and I think part of this has been answered, the recent praise of The Last of Us show on HBO, and the brilliant quality of the Uncharted movie, total lie, or even the Halo thing, will you be watching these fine pieces of acting artwork, or are you just biding your time for the Mario movie and watching fan-made Zelda flicks? P.S. There's an amazing one out there if you haven't seen it. If so, do you think it will tempt you to play said games? Hashtag rest in peace season 3. Hashtag rest in peace the song I made that no one will ever hear. Hashtag long live Hambone.
Wow.
What is all that?
Fantastic. There's a lot to take in here, Coos. Let me answer it for you. We talked about The Last of Us. I will be watching, though I'm not as impressed as everyone says so far at the first. Uncharted movie I've not seen, but I may watch it someday. The Halo series, I tried it. I didn't think it was good. Not gonna lie. I gave it like 4 episodes, so I gave it whatever it was, halfway. Fun fact: I actually wrote a Zelda strip, John, back in the days when I was making movies. Wow. I think I wrote like an 80-page strip. I don't even think it's finished. And then would I want to play these games? I mean, I've said it in the past. I would always want to play these styles of games, right, on these PlayStation Xbox. I would never. I'm not against it, but Andy hit it on the head earlier. It's too much. In my play style, I do play a lot of handheld, and it's just I'll never have time to just play those games. An 80-hour game while trying
Kids
to play
around.
It does not fit my schedule. So, for now, I'm going to continue to play Nintendo.
You would probably like Last of Us and Uncharted because you like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I would. There's no doubt in my mind I would love to play those games, but when am I going to play those on TV screens? I can't. When I have TV screen times, I'm playing Pokemon. So that's how I did away with it on the weekends, right? The kids want to watch. They're not going to want to watch, or I don't want them watching The Last of Us.
You could get an Xbox or PlayStation in your closet.
Yeah, because that's what I want to do. Spend more time in the closet.
Yeah. that's all our questions. Thank you, everybody.
Mm.
And I think that's a wrap on our show.
That is. So, John, well, before I send it to you, John, Andy, we want to say thank you after all these years for supporting us and playing in our contests and making pumpkins, and who else knows what you're doing. We really appreciate you. We appreciate all of you guys, but no, we really say thank you for coming on, and thanks for the time.
Well, thank you guys for having me. It's been this is, like I said, it's the first time guest hosting for me, but if that's what this is, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just guesting rather. But
I think what you're trying to say, it's a dream come true.
dream come
And
true. It's a cream in my jeans type moment here.
Yes.
And it's been a lot of fun.
Awesome.
You've been great. So we said before the season, as we prepped, we said we have to have Andy on the show. Like, how have we not had him on the show yet? So
you guys messaged me after, like, the day after Extra Life, after I'd not slept at all.
Right.
And I wasn't up to speed, but like asking me if I wanted to be on the show. And I'm like, yeah, even if I was able to, that, like, you wouldn't want me. Like,
do it.
I was completely fried. So
yeah, that was bad timing.
Glad to be here now. So thank you guys so much.
Awesome.
We did great. And we hope to have you back.
Yes.
Excellent.
So, John, what do we have coming up the next couple of weeks here?
All right, we'll wrap this up. There's a bunch of games coming out over the next couple of weeks. Today, if you're listening to this, as soon as it drops, Trek to Yomi has made it to Switch. Don't know much about this game, but it's the first time on Switch. Power Wash Simulator, Marty's Game of the Year of 2022, makes it to Switch January 31st. SpongeBob SquarePants The Cosmic Shake, if you're into that sort of thing, January 31st. Like I said earlier, Life is Strange 2 comes to Switch for the first time February 2nd. The game is not dead, it is alive. Hogwarts Legacy launches on PS5 and Xbox Series S and X on February 10th. If you have any other consoles, you will have to wait months for it, including June if you have a Switch. And February 14th is Valentine's Day, and you can play the co-op indie Blanc with your loved one. And maybe Andy will spend a little bit of money and play Blanc with his lovely wife, Mrs. P, who has listened to the show for 3 hours.
God bless. There's no chance, Miss P, if you're still on there, God bless you. There's no way you made it this far.
No way she made it this far. Okay, what's your favorite porn genre now? Let's hear it. But
Discord.
That is it. Thank you, everybody, for listening the whole way through. Special reward. Don't forget to leave a review on Apple. Do it right now. Just do it now. Don't delay. Just do it right now while you're listening to Sadie roll us out. And on that, Sadie, roll us out. Good night, dads.
Good night.
Good night.
The Dads After Dark show is part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. You can subscribe to us anywhere podcasts are available, including Google, Overcast, Spotify, and Stitcher. And if you're using Apple Podcasts, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. Pretty please. Be sure to join us on the Nintendo Dads Discord in our Dads After Dark channels for some naughty After Dark talk. Leave us a voicemail with Anchor and we'll play it on our next show. Check our podcast description for the link. Follow us on Twitter and now TikTok at @NDadsAfterDark or email us at dadsafterdarkshow@gmail.com. And a big thank you to Family Jewels for our show's music. That's all for tonight. Good night, Dads. Sweet dreams.
Also John talking on a podcast, laughing back and forth at what the other had to say. Watching some Amaranth and having such a good time. Hooda-lolly, golly, what a day. Never ever thinking they would play a more amazing plethora of junior RPG games. Never ever thinking John would give a game a lower score than 7, 'cause he's clearly out his brain. You know he is. Hey, it's John and also Drew talking on a podcast, breaking down the stories and the topics of the day. And talking shit and playing games every other Sunday. Hoo-lolly, golly, what a day. Ooh-lolly, golly, what a day.